Welcome to our second Esports Cringe video presented by the Freeze Pipe, our delightful sponsors. Now, you may know the Freeze Pipe from the variety of excellent glassware that they produce, bongs, bubblers, etc. You can head on over to thefreezepipe.com and see their entire offering. But today we have a very special announcement because this particular Esports Cringe compilation is sponsored by a new product, which is, of course, their brand new vape. This has just dropped, and you can get this. It's very nice. Has a really good weight to it. It accepts any 510 cartridge. So as you can see right here, I went out to my local dispensary here in California and got some Blackberry Kush. Slides right in, and it has one button, but has 4 different heat settings and really nice airflow, also super small and super discreet. So this is a wonderful new product from the Freeze Pipe, and if you would like to go get your vape pen, you can head on over to thefreezepipe.com and pick one up using the code LFN for 10% off your entire order. So this is really great, and of course, we really appreciate them as sponsors, and if you guys go and purchase Freeze Pipes, it does help us quite a lot. Supporting us through our sponsors is absolutely wonderful. So as usual, Thorin and I have
smoke because it's just vapor, that one. So that one, you don't have any smoke at all on you.
Yeah, that's right. It's electric battery. Is chargeable via USB-C cable, so super nice. Really high quality product as usual, as we've come to expect from the Freeze Pipe. And we do love enjoying our Freeze Pipes prior to recording our Esports Cringe content. Just makes it more funny. You guys have submitted a lot of these videos. We've taken a few of our own as well. So we are about to peruse our second.
Some classics in here.
There's some classics in here. There's definitely some classics in here. So we're going to watch together. And what better way to kick us off than, of course, by laughing at Reginald. And for those of you who don't know, he was a very middling, to put it mildly, Twisted Fate player from back in the day. So we'll start with something just really short for you guys.
That's one thing I have to say. The real problem with this that's tricky is this, right? Obviously, what we think about Reginald is skewed by the fact that as a man, we think he's an arsehole and an idiot. But the problem is, actually, even as a player, it's really tricky to describe his career because on the one hand, right, at times, he actually was, relative to NA talent, a good mid laner. Like, he actually could be like a skilled player and win the lane and get kills. But the problem is, as sort of was mirrored in his career outside of the game, he also could just be an absolute bonehead. But then he combined it, as you'll see outside the game as well, with being incredibly stubborn and thinking he was right. And so some of the clips, like these ones you're about to see right now, like you will actually almost think this is like, you know, like when they do those purposeful low light videos for bands, Monty, where there's a joke, they take out the real like live thing and you put like a shit version in as though they're like hitting all the wrong notes and out at you. The difference is you're going to think we've done that on purpose. These are actual real clips from pro player though. Like, so even though in a way he could be good, these are actually some of like the worst stints you'll ever see. Like, it's amazing though, because TF especially, he was actually notorious for locking in the blue card. It was like, that's not even just a meme. That was really famous for him doing that instead of the goal.
Well,
it's crazy.
It was also just the time period because
and it was the most OP champion as well. It was like insane, that champion at the time, wasn't it?
You know, he was a good player, I would say, before the LCS started. However, once the LCS was kind of in, week out, starting in 2013, a lot of his lack of skill became quite apparent when more players.
This was insane because this is when TF used to be 100% pick ban because it was just like in Korea, etc. It was just OP as fuck on it. Like if you got this mid lane, it was game over.
All right, so let's take a look at this one.
I can't wait for this. I've always enjoyed this clip.
They put some damage now under Cloud.
Let's skip for it. We'll start at the beginning.
Oh, beautiful pickup right there. But here comes the teleport.
Gold card's a minion, of course.
Looks for Reginald right there. State United does not actually hit onto Reggie.
And then flashes out. And then gold guards, but Cutie Pie has cleanse.
Has to flash away. Wild Turtle is there. They're putting out so much damage into Cutie, but the ignite comes out.
5 seconds left on that Nasus ultimate.
This is where this is all from one game as well. Holy shit, it's all from one game, Monty.
So he teams in with a red card pulled, and then red card's the minion.
I missed.
But here comes Crumbs. He puts down the Wither. Can Dyrus get away? Of course, he does have the oldie pop that there. They put some damage now onto Crumbs with the stun.
How long is this fucking... Holy shit, there's like 2 or 3 more players in this video. I'm just checking the timeline.
Here comes the odd one, the silence.
So this is still going as well.
He goes back in with the shadow. Scara.
Good old Scara on Katarina.
Across the wall. Can Odd one find anything? He's level 6. Have 2,000 gold.
Blue card lock, here we go, the
Not
classic,
gonna
the Reginald
get away
TM.
from Reginald.
Get ready.
Reggie locks the blue card. Will it be enough?
It's like a kill with the other. What are you doing? Blue card's
Reggie
him.
almost
Oh, he gets
erased
out.
the cue
Do
card
it.
from
If he actually gets out.
dodges it.
Oh,
Oh my
let's
God,
see, he
made it
lived.
out.
He actually
Turn
lived
back
after
around
that. That's
as
so
And the
Dark Lord
ignite,
punishment.
Holy
Ult comes
shit.
in from Cutie Pie. There we go. Reggie taking a bit of pain.
Oh, and he's
going to
do it as well.
Red card.
He red card
That's not what he wanted to do.
fucking hell, he's so bad.
Still chasing down to Reginald. Gets the haste.
It's
There's
actually
the
mental.
gold card.
Oh,
Can
gold
Reggie
card.
get away? Scar with the Cutie.
Classic. There's no way you can avoid that
The
even.
only
I
reason
love
he would
it.
fail that item is because he
How
wants
many
to
clips
so
in one
funny.
fucking game?
It's just
a
one
be
game,
one.
too.
It's a be one, guys.
Interesting item combination. Reginald getting a whole bunch of pain. Scar does find something
Gold
there.
cards
Of course,
immediate,
Matoya's
of
there as
course.
well. Flash across
Flash.
the ball into a Cutie
Just
pin.
goes right
And
into
Cutie
people.
Pie.
So
He's just go
could
down.
go backwards.
And because
didn't go.
TSM is
Yeah.
Bunch of pain. And here we go. The
Ah,
battle is
fucking hell,
on.
how many more
On
clips?
top.
How many
And
more?
Reginald as well.
So there's a red card lock.
Ready?
Flashes, and then throws it at the mans.
Ah, fucking hell. Unreal, isn't it?
It's
That's
so
unreal.
good.
Because obviously the other one everyone knows is that classic like Zillion one. That was pretty good as well, where he like turns one like bad roam into like I think 4 of his teammates die or something like level 1. That was classic.
Or the one where he just ints on Karthus repeatedly
that was
and
good
then
too.
yells at his teammates. Okay. So this next one, guys, a lot of
I
you
love this
submitted
one.
this.
Yes.
So this is from...
ironically one of my favorite clips of all time, like in esports. This is amazing. Like where it goes to, you can't even. You're gonna think it's almost a bit. Like, go on, set up.
Okay, so this was from discussions between Meteos, Sneaky, and Doublelift from his stream. And so there's 2 different ones that are really funny. One of them is the infinite monkey theorem, which Doublelift just can't understand. Or maybe he's trolling, I don't know. And the second one is
he's
all...
being authentic, I can tell. He doesn't get it. He just doesn't get it, mate.
They're all discussing the Monty Hall problem, which is a famous game show question that is slightly deceptive, but
yes, it's a tricky
watching
one. It's
them,
not that easy.
watching them
Perfect for
discuss
them,
it
though.
is
It is
very
amazing,
funny.
What you basically find out is like these guys just aren't deep thinkers, you know. Like, they can't sort of conceptualize things and then laterally think around. Like, they just like they get lost. Like essentially, the joke with Doublelift on the one that you'll see in a second is, essentially what he can't do, and I don't blame him. No one actually can. Is he can't even like model infinity in his mind. That's why he can't get that. Eventually, they would produce every possible pattern. He's doing that classic dumbass move of actually thinking that they have to like understand what they're writing and have chosen to write. You know, like shall I compare thee to a summer's day? And he's arguing sort of from the position of like, you know, but why would a monkey ever know how to do that? It's like, it's just doing random stuff. And then eventually, if you scale random stuff, it'll happen. Like, you'll see, this is an amazing clip. It's like actually an all-time great clip. Get ready.
Doublelift is not a strong abstract.
I love this. I love this.
And they're like, I found this super fucking broken build, man. It's so OP. You go Bork into Wit's End into Holdbreaker on Kaisa. And I was like, what the I'm like reading it like, this person is so trash at the game that they don't know how terrible they are. So they actually think that they like have this breakthrough. It feels that way in like a lot of areas in life. Like the people who are really loud and bad are like the most sure of themselves.
Ironic statement there. Unintentionally ironic statement.
Don't know what you don't know.
Another thing that always happens
get
is
ready.
like people who are generally wrong and low information or like, you know, low game knowledge.
So
cling on to
ineloquent.
the time that they were right. Like they have like all these really bad ideas, right? But then there'll just be one where it's like, I don't know what the example would be, like Kale Top or like Klepto Camille or something. And like they did it and they're like, see, I was right about that one thing. And it's like, dude, you did like 1,000 random things. So you're bound to be right on like one random thing that ended up being better.
When did they get in the clip?
Good.
Something broken clock.
Oh,
So
there
what
must
about
be
the
about now.
monkey
There we
and
go.
typewriter?
Right, listen.
That eventually he'll reproduce the work of Shakespeare.
How the hell does a
Fake
monkey
news.
reproduce?
He just makes it one monkey,
Like
by the way.
given enough time,
Listen.
a monkey sitting at a typewriter will reproduce the entire work of Shakespeare.
Yeah.
It's gonna take him forever, but it
True.
Words?
It is.
Listen,
Like
this
the
is right so
words
far.
in
Yeah.
order.
Yeah,
Or is
like
he
he will
shaking a
reproduce.
Yep.
Because he
Okay.
could probably do that.
I mean, it would literally take an infinite amount of time, but it would happen.
Oh, he actually
He just
gets
has
it
to
again.
smash
This is
the
as far as I
typewriter.
remember.
Okay.
Amount of time, dude.
Yeah.
I don't think that's possible.
Oh, get
No,
ready.
it is. It is
Perfectly
possible
recreate
because he has
Shakespeare.
infinite time to smash. Just
Yeah.
imagine you're just smashing.
Okay,
the fucking
Doublelift's actually right. Fair
typewriter.
play. Maybe I
No, even if
misremembered.
he was smashing it, he would never reproduce it. If he's smashing, there is 0% chance he'd ever.
Okay, maybe not
reproduce it.
smashing, but like
What? No.
Randomly pushing buttons.
Even then, though.
I guess the typewriter would technically break. Okay, there's a lot of like
Fucking
there's a
hell,
lot of
these guys.
little
You know what I mean?
holes
I gave him too much credit,
It's,
Monty. For a moment, he
going on
was
here.
there, and then he just got drawn in.
Statistically impossible. Specifically talking about Shakespeare.
Oh, it's
Like,
not
it's
about
just an
the
idiot.
Shakespeare's the red herring, Sneaky. It could be anything. It could be a boss fucking pamphlet. Doesn't matter. Oh, they've done you, mate, with the Shakespeare. Because that's the worst thing.
It could be the Dunzo
Yeah.
Manifesto. You
The
know?
problem is, that's what tricks him, because he's just thinking like, yeah, but you know, maybe some normal
bad
text, but
theories about how it
Shakespeare's
would
too
happen.
sort of like flowery, isn't it? And it's like, that's a red herring. It's not about that.
How could it possibly happen? A monkey's
Listen.
not typing fucking words. He's just mashing random letters. How does that create Shakespeare? It's not possible.
You're right.
Even if it's
You're
random
right and
monkeys,
you're
none
wrong,
of the
Sneaky.
monkeys
That's
are
the problem,
creating
man.
English words.
Oh, it's not
Whatever
a...
the fuck. Whatever fucking words they're using.
I just love that these
Doesn't
guys
matter how
can't
many
understand the
monkeys are doing
concept
it,
of
they're
an
not making
infinite
it.
amount of
No, they
time
can't.
I think
and randomness in
the
an
saying
infinite
is
amount of
really-
time.
Let me just
Like,
go
listen.
look it up. Who the fuck came up with this saying? Monkey
Get ready.
typewriter
Listen,
Shakespeare.
I know it's stubborn, can't
Like,
explain it to
trolling.
him.
How does this make sense to anyone?
The infinite monkey
Listen.
theorem states that a monkey hitting keys at random on a typewriter for an infinite
Yeah,
amount of time
listen.
will almost surely type any given text, such as the complete works of William Shakespeare.
No.
Wait, yeah. So someone in my chat said something about like almost surely. They use that term.
In
But
fact,
it doesn't say definitely will.
the monkey
does it
would
make
almost
sense?
surely type every possible finite text an infinite number of times. However, the probability is
Yeah.
How is he gonna type
So
it in
tiny.
order?
Ah.
If it's like
Oh,
randomly,
please.
random words
It's-
associated.
Every
then
time you
you
think
make
Sneaky's
it
out, he just like he's
If you're
further
actually
dog in. He can't get.
creating
He's trapped it.
in order
He's in
of
quicksand
how
right
the
now.
words are,
If he
word for word,
struggles,
there's
it
zero
gets
chance.
worse and he sinks
it's
deeper.
just how infinity
He's
works,
sinking.
bro. It's just how
No, it's a
infinity works.
Zero.
No.
Also, I didn't know how much I
Matt-
needed a
Matt,
video
the whole
of
thing, right?
Doublelift
You fucked
saying
up one
it's
letter.
just how infinity works over and over again in my
It's
life.
just how infinity works,
Because
bro.
The way
I know.
Steve, do you not understand the concept of infinity? He would create.
Yeah, but how do you not
Every-
understand how a monkey is mashing letters?
Still on that. Still on that. The fucking monkey.
How is he
The
mashing
monkey
letters
part's
in
tilting him
correct
too. I know
order?
exactly in the correct order. It's not. No one knows.
Fingers are too big and he can only hit those dots.
The monkey has sausage fingers, and he can only press.
Oh my god. He should have just explained it to Sneaky that Sneaky, if you
I
on
swear
an
to
infinite
God, dude, the
timeline
best part
inputted
of
random
Coach
words
Theory
into your
is
PC, you would
when we
eventually
talk
write the
about
complete
random
works of
bullshit
Shakespeare.
Like the infinite monkey theorem. This is too funny. Yo, Sneaky, I would love actually for you to like.
You know what would actually break
go on a
Sneaky's
podcast
mind
with,
is
like,
it's
a
not
fucking mathematician or something.
is
or
not
Joe Rogan,
just
I don't care.
that
With the fucking
this
monkey
would
gotta type.
With the
be
monkey,
on
yeah.
an infinite
Yeah,
timeline. You would
prove it. Show me-
reproduce
show me
the
a
works
monkey
of
that can do it.
Shakespeare.
I'll
You would
make it.
reproduce them an infinite
Show
number
me a
of
monkey that
times.
types it, I'll
Everything.
make
You
you.
do everything. It's just random
You do
whatever.
everything an
I
infinite
mean, the
number of
joke is,
times.
here's what would actually bake his noodle, Monty. Is he say, you know what, Sneaky?
Oh,
it's
man.
worse than
We
that.
have, like, the
They would
ultimate
also
practical
produce
person,
an actual transcription
Sneaky.
of what I'm
We have,
saying
like-
right now.
We just got a great spread.
But how could they not? It's like
We've got Doublelift as
even
well.
Sneaky, if the VOD was
No,
deleted,
I mean, I'm a
they'd still
dumbass,
produce
too.
a
I just-
transcription.
I like
What I'm
watching
saying.
random
I would
music
tell
videos about,
Sneaky
like,
I would
these
tell
stupid
Sneaky that they
things
would
that
produce a
actually have no
transcription
real-world
of every
application.
word he ever
Like,
said in his
For
entire
all intents and
life.
purposes,
And all the
this
thoughts he
makes
ever
no
had that he
sense,
never
but, like,
expressed.
it's just interesting to know, like. your
Now the other
knowledge.
part that he wouldn't get is
Dude,
about
what
that
if
as well as
Shakespeare
it's
was
not like
that monkey?
there's no Google
Oh
for it.
my
It's not like we
God,
can
really?
actually
So
find
much
that
time
part
he
within the
evolved into
infinite
a
array of
person, and
like
then he wrote
all
it.
the attempts. Like
How
we
do
just
we know
know
that Shakespeare was
hypothetically it
human?
would exist, wouldn't
I've
it? You
never
know.
seen one
Holy
Shakespeare.
shit.
Holy fuck.
He was that monkey.
Skip that then. I guess that's it then. I think that was the premise.
It keeps
Way
going.
too dank.
Yeah, but this video is 1 hour
Maybe
long.
there's an infinite.
Oh, right, in this
theorem
section there's
about
more.
leaves
Yeah,
yeah.
Where like given enough time,
Yeah.
they'll become like Faker, and that's how Faker was born.
Oh my god.
Wait,
Please stop making
holy
these foot
shit!
salads.
Just a really
He
lucky
actually
monkey.
thinks, no joke, Monty.
It all
He
makes
actually
sense
thinks
now.
that thing of like that evolution
Those
is sort
eye
of like
feathers?
one
I don't
thing,
think a human
literally.
could put
Like
those
not
on.
that like like eventually a new. His is like for real, like a monkey just had like a human child in that scenario. Because his whole thing's sort of like, why are there still monkeys, Monty? Because his thing's like,
stupid,
eventually we will all evolve to become Faker. Like as if Faker's like some like fucking proto.
It's not 1 in 26.
Whatever you call it, like the next generation of human, the new human, the Ubermensch or whatever it is. Like,
It's way less than 1 in 26.
what the
None of
fuck?
those numbers actually matter.
Faker's
because
like the
it's
end point of
just
evolution for
infinite.
humans.
You will do it right eventually.
Which is terrifying given some of the videos
Just because
we're
he's
watching.
good at a video game. That's it. The only
This isn't
reason.
even an
Just because
email.
he's
I
really
actually
good
found
at
the
one
Wikipedia
video game
page
that
about it.
Doublelift likes as
Dude,
well.
if there's a Wikipedia page about it, then it's real.
Wait,
Right, that's a great. That's a quote right there. That Meteos quote right there. If there's a Wikipedia page about it, it's real. Right. By the way, you are aware, Meteos, every god ever has like a Wikipedia page. Like, you know, I know what he means, but like that statement doesn't work at all.
Yep, user-generated reality. That's what I want.
They
Oh, there we
produce
go.
nothing but 5 pages, largely consisting of the letter S.
Oh, they're
The
so
lead
dumb. They're
monkey
actually reading about like a
begins
real
striking the keyboard with
experiment
a
done
stone,
like
and the other
this.
monkeys followed by soiling it.
These monkeys are going crazy.
So close.
They're so
They're
close.
so close to
They're
Shakespeare.
just right there, dude.
All right, we're gonna go to the body haul
The
problem
first letter
because this is really.
This is
funny.
going to be the best one I can tell. Because
So
like
you
you
wanna
say,
pick
this
the-
one
you
is
wanna
actually a
pick
little
the
bit
door where-
tricky.
Okay,
The way you
so
have to think about it's not as simple as you think.
let me explain it in a better way than Doublelift explains it. Okay, so it's the concept is that there's this game show, and in the game show there are 3 doors, and you're trying to win a car, and behind 2 of the doors are goats. So what happens is you pick a door at random, and the game show host opens one of the 2 doors you didn't pick to reveal a goat. It will always reveal a goat. This is very critical. It will always reveal a goat. So your question is, do you stay on the door you initially picked, or do you swap doors to have the higher probability of finding the car? And even though if you aren't thinking about it too much, you might think it's a 50-50 probability of you getting a goat in a car. It's actually a 2/3 probability that if you switch the door, then you will get the car because you had a 2/3 opportunity to find a goat in the first place. And so when he reveals that one of the doors you didn't pick is a goat, then you have a 2/3 probability of selecting the car. But watching them conceptualize this is hilarious.
Behind it is a car. You have a chance of winning the car. Or
What if you want to go?
or okay, well, in this hypothetical, you don't want the goat, you want the car. So you pick a door, and then the person, the host, the game show host, then shows you
This guy's so bad at talking.
what's behind one of the other doors. So
He's just
so
so
you pick
in
number 1,
It's no
Good at
eloquence
clicking,
at all,
bad
is
at
there?
talking.
I know.
There's
There's no
3,
elegance.
and he shows you this one has a goat. And then he asks you, do you want to switch your choice? So between the 2 remaining doors, there's a goat and a car. And he asks you, do you want to switch your choice? And the question is does it help you to switch your choice?
No.
Wait, so like,
Still
you
50-50.
already opened the door.
So you picked a door.
Oh, Meteos.
Yeah, you chose the door, but you haven't committed to it.
Now you can see why Meteos was such a brilliant intuitive
shows
player
you
who played off
another
feel
door.
largely. Into, you know.
And he shows you this one has a goat. And now between, you initially picked one, and then there's an unknown door, but you know that one of them has a goat, one of them has a car. So does it help you to switch your choice?
No.
My chat saying
They're never
you
gonna
should
get it.
switch.
They're never gonna
So-
get it.
So actually, it does. You actually should always switch your choice. It doesn't make any sense.
Oh my
Ah,
gosh.
it
He
does
knows
make
the
sense
answer, but he
for the
doesn't know
rest.
why.
Switch your choice. I'll link it to you guys.
What do you mean probability?
It's just about how probability works, isn't it? Come on.
Fucking luck. There's literally 3 doors. You chose one.
please.
Showed you one that wasn't right. There's 2.
Yeah.
Okay?
So he doesn't
Nothing
understand
Yeah.
that because he's always going to show you a
Exactly.
goat door that he didn't pick, he will never open the car door.
Exactly.
That's why it's a 2/3
Have a
probability.
35% chance to get it with 3
Yeah.
doors, then he shows you one, so you should switch. But like, he didn't show you the one that you fucking picked.
Okay,
It's so close. They're so
It's
close,
still
but they're so
a
far.
like, all that does is tell you.
Yeah.
Like, if he shows you the goat,
Yeah.
all it does is tell you
Yeah.
you're still 50-50 if it's
Oh, so close, so close. I keep thinking, like, as soon as he gets near it, his brain's going to take over.
I
But...
see the theory. Your
Oh,
first
you
pick
don't.
is
Fuck
30%
you,
chance
Sneaky. You
of
don't.
moving
You
one
didn't
to
understand the
50,
monkeys.
but
You
it
don't
doesn't
understand this
apply
theory.
here.
Listen.
That doesn't make sense. That's just not logical.
Oh,
yeah,
you
there's
don't
some
understand the
math
theory,
behind
though,
the
do you,
dumbass
liar?
logic.
You're just lying. Stop lying. Why are you always lying?
You could
so
actually just
stupid,
figure this
no.
out by
know.
drawing
If you do
by
it on the
drawing
same show, you should
all of the
switch.
possibilities,
So-
and it's so easy to
Way.
figure out when you see
I
it
mean,
that
like,
way.
you can. I don't think there's anything wrong.
There's a
with
key part, like you say, he doesn't
Yeah, like,
understand that he
it
always has
doesn't
to show you the
help
goal.
So
That's
my-
what the
Correct.
giveaway.
I agree with
That's
you
what's
guys from
fucking
the
him,
beginning,
though.
like, when I first heard this problem, it doesn't make any sense that switching would help you because it's just a 50-50 at the end.
Oh, stop saying
But
it,
the
please.
theory behind
Double,
it
if
is,
you supposedly know
if
it.
you pick the goat
Listen,
initially, you
listen.
swap to a car. If you pick the car initially, you swap to a goat.
Yeah.
No matter what, like in this situation, that's what happens. There's a 66% chance that you pick a goat initially.
Yes.
And there's a 33% chance that you
Yes.
pick a car,
Yeah.
so you
So
should always
close.
switch.
Yes.
But no, like the percent
Yeah.
didn't change in your favor.
It did, because we've already seen the goat, haven't we?
Lenses the 33.
Yeah, we saw a goat.
Right. So then it's not like it's just
no.
suddenly 66%.
We saw a
It's
goat, though,
just-
didn't we? Though.
It's so
just straight
painful.
50, no matter what.
Yeah.
When he's
Yeah, I don't
opening
think these
opening the
Okay,
gun.
okay.
rationales
Another
that I'm reading make any sense.
another.
Then
like,
again, to be
explanation is
fair,
there's
if you saw the
let's say
career of
the
most
same
of these
situation with
guys, they didn't know
100
what to do when they saw
doors.
the goat.
You
Bjergsen
pick a
reference
door,
there.
and the
you
host
go.
opens 98 doors.
Ah, come on,
He shows you all
please.
98
Listen.
of them have a goat.
Listen.
Leaving just
Listen.
the one that you picked
Listen.
and one other.
This is how you
door.
explain it, basically, to dumbasses.
Well, would you switch? Well, yeah, obviously, right? Because there's 99 goats in one car.
Why?
Oh, I
Because
just
there's
explained
99
it by
goats in
making it
one car,
98
you would
goats.
switch.
Think about
You
it.
already
You'd
made
choose the
choice,
98,
and
wouldn't you? Come
White
on.
is changing after seeing the other ones.
Oh, he's
evolve
trying to
too.
explain it so well,
That's
actually. Come on.
actually good.
Yeah, he's actually doing a good job.
Because that is like a famous way I think people do to like illustrate it,
You're
basically.
right. Hold on.
Yeah, it doesn't
Oh,
do
no, now
anything.
they're convincing
Like,
doublets.
he's
You know what I
saying
mean?
you that
It's like,
you're- that you're not.
you know that thing about how you're just
Okay,
the
okay,
aggregate of like
so
the 5 people
I think
around
what-
you or whatever. Like that's like what's happening here. Like
what
they're
we're
making
saying
him
is it's
dumber. Like he initially understands it and then he like comes out with
He's
clarity.
getting drawn in.
Like they make some like fallacious point and he's like, yeah, you're right. Actually, it would only be a 50-50. You're like, what? You just explained it. You even set the whole thing up. And then them say them. They've got to stop saying as well. Like I understand the theory, but it's just not right. Like then you didn't understand it, did you? Spoiler. You didn't understand it though. You just heard it.
The one thing that was left out would be the car.
Oh,
Like,
shut up.
this one works
Meteos.
that well,
Ah.
and it's like two
What's
out
sad
of three.
is the
I
other
guess
two are
it's
all
the
over the place, but he's never even
logic
close to
of-
understanding
that
any of
logic,
these,
like,
Monty. He's like,
downscaled super
he's like the
hard.
kid
Yeah, I mean,
eating
I think
fucking
you
crayons or
feel
something.
it.
Like he's never getting anywhere close.
This is NA education,
Fucking
boys.
hell.
Yeah, I mean it's obviously one of those problems that's like meant to be deceptive.
You'd think Jungler
just
should be the
love
smartest role as well.
how
He should be like the one on top of this.
It doesn't make sense, bro.
Like, I mean, I think when it was first phrased, it's like if you know he's never gonna show you the car.
Yes.
Because it was phrased
Correct,
in a way that was
Meteos.
like, okay, he just
Yeah.
shows you one other.
Yeah,
door,
Yes.
yeah.
right?
No, he got it. He
If
got
he's
it.
showing you one other door at random, then I don't think switching matters, right? I mean,
Yes.
obviously he showed
Yes.
you.
Well, but he can't show you the car door because otherwise, if he
But if
reveals
it's
the
like
car,
you
then you
win.
just switch to the car and you win.
Yeah.
He'll show you which one is not the right answer. I think that makes it a little bit
But
different.
how does it? But how does it?
Oh,
logically
poor
change
Sneaky.
anything?
Poor
Like,
Sneaky.
like,
You were
you
so
have to
close.
do-
This is
Remember the
80 carry
example
brain,
of the
man.
90 exactly. Remember the example of the 98 goats.
It's like logic.
Yeah,
right?
98 goats,
Yeah.
awesome, isn't it?
Because if you throw math behind it, then yeah, maybe the math sounds better. Like, oh, you went from a 33%
Oh,
chance
please,
to a 50.
please don't, please don't say if you throw math behind it, then maybe it sounds better.
Like, by
Like,
you
ah,
you're still-
Yeah.
please.
No, I get it. And I think when it's
Oh,
just
they're so
three
dumb.
numbers, that is how it seems.
Oh, that's so
I'm
dumb.
still trying to
Even with the
think
nine
how.
dogs.
Just draw
I
the picture.
believe
It's
that
so
this
easy if
is
you
so
draw the
actually
picture.
crazy.
So the apparently the
Look,
answer is that you
Danny,
go from a 33% chance to a 66%
Yes.
chance that you get the car
Yes,
if you switch
exactly.
every time.
Yes,
Well, how is
yes.
it 2 and 3?
Ah, that is
Because you had
66%,
a
please.
1 in 3
Please.
chance of switching from like pick 3 doors.
Yes.
Out of
Yeah.
3 doors. You have a 1 in 3 chance of initially
Yes.
picking the car and switching
Yes.
to a goat.
Yes.
And you have a 2 in 3 chance of initially picking the goat and switching to the car.
Yes.
Yep.
Because
But you can't know.
Ah.
Like,
He's
like,
Envy.
why?
like, to me,
I
it
know.
all hinges on the fact that
Why is he
has
like
to show you
obsessed
a
with
goat
sort of
to
like
open the door,
epistemology or
right?
whatever it is?
I don't think it changed anything though.
Fucking hell.
You don't think so?
Oh,
All right, we're done.
I think what we should do.
This just goes around in circles.
What
I do
here's
want to
the
show.
thing about that, even though, like, on the one hand, Monty, it's great content. I'll bet the video did great. Here's what I just don't get, and I'm being serious. I can't, like, maybe I actually am a bit more precious than I thought, because I would never upload a video of myself looking that dumb to the internet myself. You know what I mean? Like, they all just look really dumb after that, mate. Like, it was funny, but I actually do sort of like think a bit less, especially of Sneaky. Like,
Sneaky really
I know,
struggled.
because at the end, even Meteos somehow got it like out of nowhere, sort of like fucking blue shelled him. But Sneaky never got close. Oh, it's just sad. It just seemed so dumb. I thought he was more of a cerebral player, if you know what I mean. That's just sad, isn't it? Fucking hell.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna
what we're
bring
doing
up I'm gonna bring up a different one here, which is from XQC, and this one
is this the condensation one?
it's not the condensation one. It's
Oh,
the one
that's one of
about
my
time.
favorites. Oh yeah,
We can watch-
after this we'll
we
watch
can
the
wa-
condensation one. But yeah, these two I remember sending them to you, Monty. All I'll tell you is this, right? Everyone listening, Monty actually was way too generous as always with like newer people in esports. Because Monty was like, "Oh, I think it's just a bit." He's sort of like doing like a character, and I was like, "There's no way, Monty. He actually is this dumb, like for real." It's like that kind of Doublelift there. Doublelift isn't pretending there. That is just how he thinks. Like, so, like this is actually real. It's amazing as well. It's so mind-boggling that you can't comprehend this. Come on.
Hold
It's
on,
not
I've got
noon or something, right?
Yeah, the one about noon is just super funny. I'm trying to add this video and failing. Hold up.
Do you not just search within the
All right,
app
here
that
we
we're
go.
on or something?
This is
Here we go.
24 hours, right?
There you go. Yeah.
We're currently, this is midnight,
Yeah.
and this is morning.
Ah, morning.
Midnight.
No, it's not morning, is it?
How do you know that? Dude, if 12
Yeah.
is midnight, how do you
Yeah.
know 12, but on the other side,
Please.
midday?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. You nailed it.
How the hell you
By the way, the clue was in the name. See, midnight, midday. You actually got it just by thinking about the name, linguistics.
No, not noon. Noon is here.
Ah,
That's noon. It's at 12.
it ain't
What I'm
knows it
saying
though.
is it's midnight at 12, right?
Yeah,
It's midnight. But then
Yeah.
it's the morning. It's midnight, but what is it?
Why is it 12, 12, 12?
He thinks there's 36 hours in a
What is
day.
the 312s? What's going on?
It's high noon? That's not high noon.
High noon. They almost got him. They almost got him with a joke about Overwatch. They said it's high
Yeah,
noon.
they tried.
So people don't know it's from like what's the character, the whatever, the fucking cowboy one.
McCree.
McCree,
Well, I
there
guess
you
they
go.
call him Cassidy now because they had
There
to
you go.
change his name.
Oh, really? Is that what happened? Oh, yeah, that's right. True, because there was like some association with some shit, right?
Yeah, whatever. Hold on, let me find the.
See, you
the
can find that
XQC.
condensation one. That's a banger
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Hold on, I got it.
This almost beggars belief. This one because I don't know how he thinks that the world works. It's going to be so mad.
When I
Get
realize
ready.
there's I have a cook bottle,
Get ready.
yeah,
Yep.
from the machine or some shit. I
Yep.
bring it back up, right? And when I touch
Mm-hmm.
it, I don't get wet at all. Like my hands are fine.
Yeah, it just
right?
came up the machine.
When I let
Yeah.
it there, after
Yeah.
after a couple times, dude, I play the fucking game.
Yeah.
I get it, and it's fucking full of water, dude. It's full of fucking water, dude. Look at that shit. Look at that.
He doesn't know what you had. Yeah,
It's dripping.
yeah,
Look at
yeah,
that shit. It's
that's right.
dripping.
Yep.
Why?
I'm just like,
Condensation.
holy
Okay,
shit.
what about condensation?
Holy shit. You actually just for
Oh,
real.
that shit
Why?
fucking-
Is it
So
Googling
fucking
I know, it's
condensation?
amazing, isn't it? Look,
Condensation.
look.
Condensation.
Why is he having that voice made it out? Like, that's not going to make it make sense to you.
Cold surface when humid hair is in contact
Listen.
with. So you make water. The fuck?
It came out of the freezer, didn't it? Come on, think it through.
He doesn't understand there's water vapor in the air.
It came out of a freezer,
This
didn't
is
it? It didn't just come out of a
24 hours,
cupboard, did it? Come on. It's the way, like, when they say that, Monty, it's like he thinks he's got them because they go, condensation. He goes, condensation. He, like, looks up really quickly thinking it's going to be, like, some legal term or something. Like, what the hell? It's when he just goes, like, so we've got 12, 12, and 12. It's like, well, you're already out, aren't we? That's over
What
then,
do you
isn't it?
call it?
I know.
Midday?
And all you need to know, guys, is these clips are for real from like 2018 or something. This guy did like $100 million deal recently for his fucking streaming.
Outrageous.
Like, what a
Outrageous.
world. What incentive structure are we giving the youth of today when this is what gets you 100 million? Not like, you know, he didn't invent some formula or something, Monty, or like fucking, you know, do something. It's just an idiot who doesn't know about condensation. Gave him 100 million. This is like,
It's very entertaining, to be fair.
this moment in American culture, even though he's from Canada, I'm going to make him American. In American culture, is like when whatever that guy Caligula made his horse a general. That's the equivalent in the Roman Empire. That's the decadence you've reached. Giving this guy $100 million streaming contract. Meanwhile, you know, like all these veterans die in the streets. Like this guy just like, there you go. He doesn't even know what condensation is. Have $100 million. Like, there's something wrong about that. There's something fucked up about your culture, I'm afraid. It's over. I think it's dead.
He actually, Caligula tried to make his horse the leader of the Senate, according to legends.
Okay.
The consul, so it's even better.
There you go. Well, the joke is, in like 10 years, when the Zoomers have grown up, XQC probably could be president, mate. Like, we're not that far off, like something disastrous like Hassan Piker, just really being like, you know, fucking Democrat nominee or something like. But I'm surprised they haven't done that yet, because to be fair, you know, when they had that mad thing, which Richard always points out, technically is against Twitch rules, by the way. You know, when like AOC did all that streaming, where she was streaming like Among Us and stuff, and League, but then she would sort of like back end into sort of like saying, donate to this like super PAC or whatever, which is, by the way, completely against TOS rules. Like, that's why like Donald Trump can't go on Twitch, etc. Right? In theory, if you saw how popular that was, I actually think in the future, no joke, just like someone like a Donald Trump could become president now, because like the eras have changed. I think one day that sort of an idiot influencer probably can be president. Maybe not literally like execution, maybe it has to be like Mr. Beast or something, but eventually, like, dude, they'll be popular enough. And if enough people grew up, then why not, right?
I mean, we went through an era of, you know, famous film stars becoming president, like Ronald Reagan, or Arnold Schwarzenegger was governor of California. So
no, the Schwarzenegger one's a really good one. Like, he basically only did it because he was famous in movies. That's why everyone voted for him.
All right, let's watch. Speaking of people who are good at one thing, not being potentially good at the other one, here's one from Faker, which is an all-time classic as well, which is him trying to carve ice.
I
don't remember this one.
American LCS, but until then, let's watch Faker try to keep things on ice in our last.
Oh, 2015. Oh, so first year of LCK. Oh, now I remember it. Yeah. Oh.
So they sent him ice carving as part of a Korean like video in 2015, and he just doesn't even understand how a chisel and hammer works.
Oh, right.
They have to explain it. He tries to reverse it.
Oh my God, that's so cringe. What's so scary is why doesn't he get a second chance? Like, why do they make him live do one take, fuck it up completely, and then that's it? By the way, they're like, right, well, that's all the time we got that. So see ya. And now he looks, by the way, like he just came from another planet, and we're like putting him in some experimental like test chamber. Like, what? He doesn't even seem like he knows what the fuck he's doing, does he? That's mad embarrassing. I didn't know that existed, man. That's actually like sad. It made Fake look really stupid.
Yeah. I mean, he clearly doesn't know how to use tools at an even basic level. But yeah, it's part of a longer video. It's part of a longer video where they were doing like.
And just take out the audio and put the 2001 music behind, like, as he learns how tools work. Oh my God. And I hit on the top. Oh my God. It's the way he's just going crazy on it, like both of them, though. He gave it a good try, though. He
was a good sport about it. And they explained it to him, he's fine. But it is like just funny out of context.
And they had him wearing something like that traditional dress for some reason.
The hanbok. Yeah.
I don't know why. Like, what's this got to do with anything?
It was part of a larger video that they were doing on like ice sculpting. I don't know, man.
Oh,
okay. We're going to watch. Here, I've got one for you. This is an OG WarCraft 3 one from the MBC Prime League. It is a very cringe
I was only briefly
opener.
on there, yeah.
Yeah, it was a very cringe opener. So coming from WarCraft 3 for me. Now, they tried to do, you know, the more classic StarCraft opener, but this one just ended up really bad because WarCraft 3 was a smaller game and they had no budget. But a lot of WarCraft 3 legends are in here if you from that. Somebody actually submitted this one. I had no idea. I'd never seen this, so that was pretty fun.
Oh, the music, immediately new metal. Everything back then was new metal, man. Everything. Oh, yeah. These are all the actual real players, yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Moon, Grubby, Todd. Fury and Zeus, of course. So they actually had Westerners in this one. The arrow one really slays me with the archery.
I see what you mean, because like the problem is it did have like a bit of the vibe of the StarCraft ones, but the StarCraft ones were way more epic, whereas that was a bit cringe.
Yeah, no, those were good. This was just like very awkward poses, not edited hardly at all.
Yeah, that's the weird
new
thing.
metal.
You know, one of the things they fucked up there was just that they didn't change like the time. So, for example, some of the poses were like too quick, or like it was just like one after another. You got to make it like sync to somewhere or slow some of them down or something.
And that was one of the top WarCraft leagues. I mean, all those players at the time, to put it in the context of esports history, like, you know, people like Moon. Moon was the greatest WarCraft 3 player of all time. You know, people like Grubby and Todd, who are Western legends. So it was that was a big deal, that tournament. And they just really messed up. They really just messed up the intro. Let's see here. Let's watch with our recently our friend who recently looks like she is leaving esports. We can watch a TV interview with Nicole LaPointe Jameson.
Talk to me about how you see your industry right now, the health of it.
Yes,
on
this
Bloomberg.
is
One.
Esports
It's
is at a really
Bloomberg.
interesting
All right, so financial
intersection
news,
right
okay.
now,
Yep.
as we've always been a digital product that bridges and straddles.
Oh, this is
sports
recent.
and
If people don't know, this is
entertainment,
actually
but
when
now
she
with
already
more
knew she was
eyes
like stepping down, essentially, as far as I know.
on advanced technologies like AI and sports analytics and all the
Maybe I'm wrong on
derivatives of
that.
such, we're really seeing the professional.
I'll check on the date of this.
When does it say it was published?
2 months ago, yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe it was around that time then. I think she deleted the,
as
the
well as
stuff
the
around then.
awareness of esports as a product at a rate that hasn't been seen before. So the growth and headwinds that we're experiencing, especially post-pandemic, where gaming and esports events and live events in person are becoming more and more commonplace, it's an exciting time to be part of the community.
You know what's sad is she's
It's
actually
also
like quite a
interesting to talk about the
presentable
content
character.
side of this
Seems
story.
quite amiable in first glance. By the way, quite well spoken. Wasn't tripping over her words or saying "oh" all the time. That's why it's actually so sad to me that like any of these idiots have to do all this stupid shit. It's like, well, I said about the gamer doc. It's like if you actually are someone with a real background in like physiotherapy, well, just come and be good at that. Like, why do you have to do
And
any
when you think about
weird
evil
shit?
geniuses, you think about YouTube or Twitch. A lot of what you're doing is going out there for free. So how are you going
This
to make
guy's such
some
a
money
nerd.
and
listen to
take
this.
that free content
Let's see what the
and
answer
turn
is.
it into merchandising?
This
or
is the
other
material
ways of
question.
building
Yeah,
revenue?
there is no answer to it.
Yes,
Essentially,
this
that's
is
what
the
she says.
existential rub of esports organizations like ourselves, where we are content machines, billions of minutes a year. Of
Ironically,
produced content,
dog shit
whether it's
YouTube channel that
in-game
gets for no
athletics,
fucking views, but okay.
competition moments to
It's a shame, innit, their love.
behind-the-scenes social engagement, and we know we have the eyes and hearts of especially Gen Z and Gen
Well, to be
Alpha
fair, I definitely
audiences.
have helped you
EG
get a
on
lot
its
of
own
behind-the-scenes
puts over 20
social
million
engagement. I
views
have
on our,
actually. I played my
third-party
role in that.
platforms
You could
itself.
say.
But
I was
how
the
we
senior
find and
director
face
of
the
behind-the-scenes
media rights ownership
social media
and
engagement for
distribution
Evil
that is
Geniuses.
not
The
as
problem is they didn't want
professionalized
that
as you
role.
see in traditional
So tough shit,
sports,
innit?
bridging with that
Oh, I love
entertainment
this.
of, okay,
I love when they
there's
do
YouTube
what
and
I call like
Oh
the
my
fucking the
God.
Interesting
grift
right
page.
now is that we're
Like,
seeing
look at
that
that. 180 plus championships, Monty. Right? They know when they say that you might actually think that's like winning, you know, like every Super Bowl ever in like NFL.
Right.
Even though I can guarantee you right now, when it says 180, that will include mad shit like online cops when games
Oh,
just
yeah.
begin. You know what I mean? Like some really old shit and like some like a StarCraft 2 cop online. It'll have
Right,
every
like a
bollocks
weekly
thing to
cup.
sex that up. But the problem is
Yeah.
when you see that, if you're a pleb guy, remember this is just going to be like general business people. You're going to think that means they're like the Yankees of fucking esports. And like, holy shit, 180 champions. Like that even hits if you're an idiot somehow. Oh, it's so sad.
And
What a
also
grift.
14 million plus
no way.
global followers.
I know.
What is that number? Because it's not
No
there.
way.
It's not Evil Geniuses social and YouTube channel and Twitch combined. It must be every player
It'll
that
be
has
every
played
player,
for them.
their Twitch, their Twitter, their
Yeah.
everything combined, all rolled up into one.
And you know what, Thorin? I actually think it might also be the leagues that they play in. So I think it might be like the LCS Twitch,
by the way.
the LCS Twitch
Oh, no.
followers and
You're
everything
right,
like that
yes.
too.
By the way, this third one, I don't even need to see the evidence. 100%
That's not
bullshit.
true.
100% bullshit. There's no universe. Well, the joke is, if that was true, Monty, that 36% of their followers are women, then they must have an incredibly small following, is the obvious fucking answer. Because if you had like remember, they're saying they have like 14 million, Monty. Do the math. How many fucking million women are they claiming follow Evil Geniuses specifically? Like, we know that can't be right because the numbers are like female esports.
That'd be over 4 million, right?
That'd be crazy. Do that. But also, by the way, if you actually had like 4 million women follow you, do you know how many brands you'd have access to? You'd have like the greatest sponsorship
almost 5
package
million,
of all
actually.
time. Think about how
Yeah,
many people
exactly.
you'd be like sponsored by like Dove for Women and all. You'd be all over the
yeah.
place, mate. Everything.
No, that people would love that for sure. You would
Yeah,
get very specific sponsors for
you'd be
that.
killing the
traditional
game.
linear media, whether it's movies and cinemas, in-person events, these moments where other people who are hungry for content for that audience are looking and creating new ways to bring in that gaming community, which
What
has
are you
trickle-down
talking
effects
about?
on revenue. A very public example that just went out, right? XQC, a big gaming stream.
She's now citing XQC's $100 million
signing with
contract as
Kick,
part
a
of.
Twitch-
She's such a charlatan, dude. She's such a charlatan because she's bringing in irrelevant evidence to talk about esports. She is playing the game, which people who are uninformed play about esports, which is that they say that Ninja is esports. No, Ninja is a streamer. He used to be an esports player, just like XQC used to be. Ninja was a professional Halo player, and XQC was a professional Overwatch player. But what they're doing now has no bearing on the actual esports industry or the revenue that will be produced by evil
access to
geniuses.
their money, but because they're making it sound, Monty, like because someone pays XQC 100 million, that means that like people like her have access to potentially outside money. Whereas the joke there is it's even internal money, for fuck's sake. It's like the actual platform paying you.
Traditional sports athletes' rights to a team, and so if you continue to look at how brands are aware.
This is just, by the way, this is just word salad bingo.
This is word salad. This is buzzword salad.
Yeah, exactly. Competition, and thus the media rights values will continue.
That's why I said
you make money,
because she is doing a good job making it seem like she's cobbling it together, put all the buzzwords in, but it almost sounds like it makes sense.
It's meaningless. 64% aged 18 to 34. So take that demographic. Who are you competing with? Other players in the space or other forms of content?
Every possible form of entertainment.
Every possible form of entertainment.
I wouldn't say we're direct competitors of a Twitch or a YouTube because we leverage those platforms to engage and reach in our community.
By the way, logically, if you put your videos on YouTube, you now compete against every other video on YouTube. Like that just goes without saying. That's not even like I'm not sophistry there. It just makes sense.
You're also competing with Netflix and books
and the game itself, dude. Like you play Legends or Counter-Strike, can't you? Like it's a pretty compelling thing to do.
Competitors in the space of how is our content
and
thus our audience
even like what it says on the like reel at the bottom, where it's like seeking non-linear ways of expressing media. Like it's all fucking word salad in it. Get me out.
Gaming is a staple of their culture, and
like basically, if they made an esports Clockwork Orange, this is what we would be tied down and forced to watch with our eyes cranked open, like until it seeps into your brain.
Gaming is a staple of
Holy,
their culture.
I have to listen to
so
this.
Compete against traditional sports and media, traditional pop culture, music and fashion. Gen Z has spoken, and gaming is a staple of their culture. And
that's true.
It was not esports.
Evergreen, understood moment.
Sadly, the
for
ultimate
brand and capital
grift in
allocators
esports always is just conflate esports with general gaming.
Yes.
It's just
Nicole,
too
how
easy in
difficult
it.
is your
Fudge the
day job
numbers.
right now? Think about the news in April about the roster changes. I think you guys have done a few rounds of layoffs this year as well.
I had to play that this guy actually asked this question though.
I mean, he's actually a good interview. He's asking the right questions.
Continuing from the sports
Let's hear what she says now,
model,
remember, she has literally fired tons of people, including most of the League of Legends team at
just
this
like
point in
many
time.
other businesses in tech and advertising, the macroeconomic climate earlier this year was hard, as traditional sponsorship sales is much of our current revenue stream. It required us to be really judicious and
you
pivot
lost
on our
your
feet
monster
quickly
sponsorship.
around what is valuable inventory, what is the valuable market rate of talent, and much of what we had to do was course correct to the macroeconomic market. The good news is, though, with these adjustments and reductions, we've also been able to find really good headwinds and really double down on what makes our brand differentiated and strong in this space.
Oh my God.
As you shared with the stats earlier, EG is a leader in gaming.
Holy shit! She actually, for real, Monty, pause a sec. She just said something like, essentially, we had to lay off people in the macroeconomic scenario. But good news, we're going to catch some headwinds and really double down on what makes EG, great. Or like, what does it even mean? Holy shit! That doesn't mean anything. Holy shit.
Remember that they don't have sponsors because their creator collective is an enormous failure where they don't actually have any viewership to sell. The sponsorship problem was created by EG because they don't have esports fans anymore. They ditched their Dota team and they never actually found a way to create content that people watched either on their official team esports channel or their creator collective. So they actually caused the problem by not being popular that caused their sponsorship and revenue to drop.
And those values and affinities, despite the macroeconomic sponsorship challenges, still resonate with advertisers and brands to engage with the Gen Z community.
What the
through
fuck?
Our platform and what we
It's
have.
all theoretical.
So I'm
Your
grateful
company
to an
doesn't do
amazing
any
team
of these
behind me to
things.
help us stay robust and continue through many technology and economic changes.
Oh
Nicole,
my God.
quickly,
This
what
is
the
word
one
salad.
thing
Holy moly.
To your mind, that's going to put some energy back into esports.
Oh, energy. Let's get some
It's
energy
going to put,
going.
sorry?
some energy,
sort of
some
thrown her a
momentum
bit
back
there,
into this
'cause-
industry.
Ooh,
Back
question.
into the industry, I would say there's so much energy in esports
I'm
right
out.
now. When you look at TikTok, where 40 billion views of gaming-related
what does
content month over
TikTok
month
have to do with
consistently,
esports?
in-person arenas
Bro,
selling
what
out for
that's
events.
that is
Last
like
year,
she
League
thinks
of
she's
Legends had a
talking to like
North American
senators and
roadshow
boomers now. Like,
culminating in
well, you
Chase
know,
Center
there's a
in
lot of
San
energy. Have you never
Francisco
seen TikTok
selling out.
dances? Like,
I think
what
what will
are you
continue
talking
to
about,
drive
love?
energy is more multi-generational
This
audiences
is- this
being
is
aware of
Basically,
the
Monty,
power
no
of
joke.
gaming,
If you boil down what she said, she essentially just said, because here's what she did. I'll give her credit for this, Monty, because she initially got caught by the question. She then decided to win the dynamic back over by flipping it on him and being like,
Yep.
"Wait a minute, bring it back. We've already got it," which wasn't a bad gambit, you know. But here's the problem: all she essentially said was like, "Have you ever seen TikTok?" With
Have you ever
connection to each-
TikTok?
I know. Yeah, look, if you watch TikTok, there's loads of energy. People are having fun on there. Like, what?
Let's take a brief moment to
That
is
is
this
a
the one with-
wild interview.
Is this video the one where Too Good gets fired? Is that what we're watching now?
This is a compilation of clips from the Shanghai Major, which was an infamous Dota 2 event that basically everything possible went wrong.
Yes.
And Too Good did get fired by Gabin himself, by Gabe Newell.
On Reddit.
On Reddit for making a joke, which was very edgy, to be fair. But the reason why he made this joke is because there was so much downtime that he basically had to fill for hours and hours and hours and just ran out of material.
Oh, that's the thing to say before we watch this video is for people to understand the context. The problem is, on the one hand, Too Good is absolutely wrong. And I would even, by the way, completely agree with him being removed from the event in light of the jokes he made. Because if you don't know, in China, they are in Shanghai, guys. He is making jokes about things like the great firewall of the internet where they censor shit and porn, etc. He is making jokes about actual watching pornography and things like that. And basically, like, those are like, you have to always think of it this way, right? Why does China have the reputation it does in the West? I'm not going to go into some big political thing, but put it this way, it obviously has this reputation because people are scared that it might have areas where it overreaches in terms of how it treats the citizens and censorship, right? He was treating that like that's just a meme and it's not real, but he's there in the country. So if you don't know, guys, to actually do anything, even in esports in China, one of the ways their country keeps their economy so strong is they essentially run, instead of tariffs, you just have to actually have a local partner that you pay like a fee to. And even sometimes they do something, sometimes they do nothing, but they do all that. Now, here's the thing. The reason they also do that, as well as to keep their economy boosting, is because that way there's someone accountable to their government. Like, you can't just fuck around. So if people don't know, like, it might just seem to us like a meme, but look, even if he didn't fire him, they probably would have had to denounce him publicly. It would be like what happened to me in Poland, but times 10, mate. Like, that actually did put him in a bad spot. So, but I know what you mean as well. When you say like that point, it's like Richard always said, when he knew that we were fucked in Counter-Strike was when I would do like banter. And if the joke was like just not a great one, people would actually try to cancel me. And Richard tried to make the point of like, no one can know when you're saying the joke if it's funny. Like, it lands sometimes. You go, fuck, I didn't know if that was going to land. Sometimes it doesn't. And then everyone hates you and thinks you're just being serious. You've made a social faux pas. And so essentially, like, that is going to happen if you have it, especially on this scenario, like you say. If you make the time scale not 1 minute, you make it like 3 hours or something. Like, someone's eventually going to say a joke that's a little bit too edgy and you fucked that, yeah. Like, it's almost inevitable at that point in time. Because he wasn't feeling like a motherfucker. Like, he had like a whiteboard or something mental, right?
Right. So Too Good is an amazing entertainer, to be clear. But you also have to remember that he's cut from the cloth of old esports. If you go back and watch videos of In Control and Idra and like Artosis from, the Too Good from the early kind of StarCraft 2 days, they made a lot of edgy jokes, guys, and they were very funny.
He was the edgiest of them all, mate.
Yeah, and Too Good was the edgiest. So you kind of know what you're hiring. And, I think that the professionalization of esports happened faster than the professionalization of some of the talent who had seen a lot of success by telling jokes like this and doing things like this previously. And he's a great entertainer, and he was simply trying to do his job of entertaining people while there were immense delays and everything was like on fire over there. So it was a massive disaster.
If you know the timeline, this was like early 2016, I think. And basically this was exactly the time. I always cite that year because that was the year that like Brexit happened and Donald Trump got elected. That was the year that like all the political shit just went to like 100 out of, it was on like 4 out of 100 before that, then it went to like 100 and it's barely ever come back since then. Like in the world we lived in before, like you're saying, if you ever go and watch like an old unfiltered episode, dude, you could probably cancel Too Good about 50 times an episode if you're saying all sorts of outrageous shit. But back then it was just considered like Riz, essentially, like who gives a shit. The whole point of the show was to be a bit edgy, like you're in a bar or something, you know.
Kind of get everyone up to speed with what's been happening so far, as if they haven't been watching the Dota action so far.
So Perfect World was the company who was doing
perusing the hotel
they do everything
entertainment actually, for the ritual to get ready for today, and it turned out, censorship, the Chinese hotel
why'd you say that?
had disabled pornography, so it was very hard to kind of get ready for the show. I mean, don't get me wrong, I watched it. Mr. Wang's amazing wheelchaired antics were pretty amazing.
Now he's bringing wheelchairs in a way.
That's great.
Also, by the way, even though I'm not, I think personally it's actually childish that people think you can't make fun of like other languages and things about them. But even so, if you were going to say like stay away from certain names for stereotypes, Mr. Wang would probably be like top 5. You know what I mean? Like,
great, is it?
And like I know he doesn't mean anything bad, but like you're coming too close to a stereotype there, mate. You know.
So here's some of the whiteboard incidents that eventually got like.
Okay.
You're fired.
Hold on.
Mr. Wang's amazing wheelchaired antics were pretty amazing. I brought in. That's great.
What we're we looking at?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay.
So we had 1D and lack of growth. You're fired.
So this is Gabriel. This is ass, and we won't be working with him.
Well, the cool thing is, I actually happen to know from people back in the day as well that supposedly the other Valve employees who work on Dota had no idea this happened, and they also woke up and just saw like that post and were like, "Oh, for real, he's fired!" Like that wasn't like he went to them. Apparently, he just like himself heard this shit happen and was like, "I'll take care of this," and just like actually did that.
It's
fucking
so
post.
funny. It's so funny. The James is an ass, and we won't be working with him became a huge meme.
And
too.
they really did just yank him off the whole broadcast then on like, I don't know, like day 2 or whatever the fuck, day 3 or whatever. It was like quite early in the event, I remember.
Tell us about who's causing you problems in your life.
Probably just me. I think I'm the biggest problem.
Then you've come to the right place.
This is too deep. Yeah. I think it all goes back to my father.
I think he's gonna like joke about suicide or something mad.
What did he say?
He said, "I wish I had one," about his father.
Oh my god.
Can I call you Daddy, Cap?
Oh, they got Roshan. We should be able to stop that. It's like, well, this was inevitable.
What?
It's online here.
What?
So
That's the sound that was going out on the screen.
Holy shit.
They dropped the OD. It's going to get the 1 kill. EGM burning down in the flames.
That's another thing people don't know, Monty. When you work on events, sometimes you just have to swallow it if there's like a mad sound like that and just tank it for like 5 minutes. But I've had some mad ones like that where there's like a static in my ear or something and I'm trying to talk.
Oh, yeah.
And you can't even hear what the other person's saying. You're just imagining, EGs get featured.
I was like, wait a minute, did I miss them saying
Shanghai Major. Like Chronos into the have any damage to do with this. They are going to drop the death ward, but mid one comes right in, rushing.
Right, if you didn't notice, guys, they put EG win when the game hadn't ended. Like they accidentally hit the button too early.
What the fuck?
Oh, same
OG and LG in the same room. So they're trying to like they're trying to play this game in the same room with 2 different teams.
This guy's sleeping.
The cameramen are asleep.
There you go. Where the Russian commentators are. Look.
I like how they're squatting on the floor.
Because they don't even have a desk, do they? Look,
they're on these little stools.
Yeah, they're just like backwards on a seat or something. They don't have a desk, do they? That's why they did that meme of like this, whatever, in Soviet Russia, desk is you or something, like that shit. Like, they're trying to do that meme, aren't they?
Has lost the
This
keyboard
is good.
for the player.
It was like a really good player, it was like a Russian player as well. Oh, here we go. The production team got fired.
And are you satisfied with the result?
I think it's a long day game. It's a very long day game. We are very confident that we surely can get.
What's that sound in the background?
Just the players yelling in the background.
But we didn't expect that we play long.
Even that sound on the mic still be like.
今天一整天赛程都很长，我们很有信心。
Super duper.
Hello everybody, LD here. I'm just touring the venue, and here we have the VIP room. So me and Catalyst are going to take a look at this. We're very important people.
These are two really famous casters.
They've added some chairs.
And this is like when they were in their heyday as well.
You know, as you can see, some comfortable.
So look at it. This is essentially the shittest screen room you'll ever see in your entire life. Like it's actually appalling. Especially those chairs look horrible. Like, if people don't know, you need it to have like a proper fucking couch or something. Yeah, this is pretty mad as well. Because another thing people don't know is a lot of times if you have an event in China, there'll be like a curfew time where you have to like close the event. You can't just like, that's why actually in Counter-Strike, we've even had a famous one time where like a match had to just stop after map 2 and come back the next day to play the third map. So that's a normal thing, to be fair. Shanghai's also fucking massive as well.
It's just like the venue will be closed within 1 hour. Please leave. The games will be finished online. Incredible. Here's one. We'll do one with you in it.
Okay. What people submitted clips for us?
This one's pretty funny. So it's you talking about simple crying.
Oh, resilience. Right, now I remember. Yeah, watch.
So this is an MLG. What you want to explain
Yeah, basically, this is when Simple had just joined Team Liquid at the beginning, like that. And at the time, if people don't know, like Simple actually had only been to like a couple of majors because at the time he used to be ESL banned for like cheating in 1.6 or something mad like that. Like, and this ban just carried over. And basically, when he came to this team, on paper they were supposed to like easily make it to this major, but in this match, it actually ended up going like 3 maps, and then like I think it might be even like overtime on the 3rd map. And believe it or not, even though Simple famously in Team Liquid was mega, he actually was sort of a bit shit in this like last map. He sort of like just had like an underwhelming game, and essentially his team just like carried him over the line. So what actually happens in the clip is, remember, this is also when he's only just come to America like a few months earlier, like a month or so earlier. So his English isn't amazing. So what happens in the clip is he's trying to emotionally express that like he was bad and that they carried him in the game. And it was sort of that moment of like realization of like, you know, I don't have to be the carry all the time. My teammates can be valuable, you know. But because he's crying and so the words are hardly coming out, genuinely no joke. And if you listen to it, you'll think the same thing if you listen to what I'm saying now. It sounds like he actually cried, and then when they ask him like why, and he just says like they're just so bad, as if like he's still like egoing, and actually he's crying because of how bad his teammates are. So if you watch it, like it's a classic moment. Also, I was in my heyday where I could just say anything on a desk and just get away with it. So play the clip. Now you know the context. Let's go.
Oh my goodness. One more. What other adjectives can I use in this situation?
Resilience was a good one. I don't know if we're going to top that, but wow, the hug's going out. They've got to be extremely excited.
Because they're going to interview him in a second.
And
probably Pocket, I think. Yeah, there you go.
You were very
Shout out
emotional.
Pocket one time, legend.
What was going through your head after you saw Luigi pick up that
He's wearing a
kill?
Hiko hat.
We was losing 7-14.
Listen.
I was so sad because I wasn't like entry fragger or something else. I was like lurker and I don't do anything. Like support player. And I feel that we're gonna lose. It's first time when I was on tilt. And after this last kill, I was so happy.
You got it, buddy.
Because Hellraiser's footbed.
See what I mean?
You moved to America.
Look, I thought he said that the other team Hellraiser the player. I thought he actually said because Hellraisers are so bad. But what he actually said was something like because I played so bad. I think it's something like that. But it looked like they even got the subs wrong. You thought that they were laughing like his opponent. You see what I mean?
Simple.
It comes back to me now, though.
They're moving on, guys. You will see them at the major.
I told you that I was right as well.
Anyone at home, any of your fans watching
I was even
right
on
now?
point.
Yes, thank you everyone for supporting. Thank you my mom for watching, my girlfriend. Thank you every fans of Team Liquid and our sponsors.
Alright, we'll go to your part.
But no, honestly, great to see him be so emotional.
Yeah.
I mean, we're laughing. We're not laughing at him.
No.
Upset.
Here's the thing. I'm not known as the person with the best emotional sensitivity. Here's the
Understatement
thing.
of the
You have to
year,
realise, I know this guy's like quest and trying to get into majors.
Exactly.
And when he was playing amazingly in the old Hellraisers team, actually, and he didn't get in despite it because his teammates let him down. So what's funny is I was really getting drawn into it. I was kind of like really feeling bad for him. And then as he started to well up a little bit, I don't know if it's just like a coincidence what word he landed on, but then he was like, because Hell Races is just so bad. So I don't know if that's exactly what it said. It sounded like it almost sounded
didn't
like
it?
wasn't
I was
it?
right.
It was just like he was actually.
Actually, is
sad
what it sounded like.
At how bad. No, I thought he was like he was just sad at how bad they are. Like, how can they be paid to play?
It's relief. This guy, it's like you said it. This guy has worked tirelessly.
Do you know what I mean? Mad self-indulgence.
He's worked tirelessly all this time. Been on some.
And also, by the way, shout out Richard, because that's how good me and Richard's rapport was. Like when I said that joke line, like I'm not known for my emotional sensitivity. Richard
recontextualized it.
I'm just sitting there in the urn anyways. Like, okay, fair play. That's a good line.
Still would be funny though.
That is a good line.
How bad?
It's just not inhuman emotions. Are you kidding me, Thorin?
That's the end of the clip now.
No, it's unbelievable.
All right.
But anyway,
I've got a really good one for you that somebody submitted, by the way. I had never seen this. This was something that was made by Machinima about Carlos back in the day.
Okay.
Called Controlling the Beast.
Oh, I know
this
one.
before?
It's when it's like about him overcoming being toxic or something, isn't it?
Yes. And so
It's
what's
really
so funny
cringy,
about
though.
this,
I remember it, though,
it's
yeah.
really cringy. And what's the best part about this is that Riot Lyte is in this video.
Oh, right. Okay. Because basically, people don't know. I can't remember the specifics of it, but I know the gist of the video is sort of like, no joke, even though now this is aged very poorly. They're implying that like the Riot Lyte approach works and that they've reformed Carlos, even though, again, we're talking about Carlos, who, if anything, I mean, you'd argue he's at his worst now, isn't he? But you know what I mean? Like, that's why it's amazing because like he's the success story. Like, you know, he's like, they make it sound like he's like overcome drug addiction or something because he's flaming people.
This video has aged so badly on every
He
front.
just tells someone to get cancer or something. Don't bad that to say.
So also for you guys, Riot Lyte was the guy with a PhD in cognitive neuroscience who they hired to basically do their behavioral system. Yeah, he was the Grand Inquisitor of the ladder, basically. So he was trying to design systems to decrease toxicity, and he turned it into this quest that was like an ethical imperative to like decrease toxicity in video games and make better people. While it turned out that he was like cheating on his fiance and like entrapping,
generally creepy towards women and stuff.
Like luring of age, I have to say of age, like European teenagers into his house and like manipulating them to stay there and stuff like that. There was a whole
it had the vibe of like when you hear about some like super, like buttoned up politician and then they get caught with all like the gay hookers or whatever. And it's like, what the fuck? Like it was that sort of vibe of like, wait a minute, you're the exact opposite of what you pretended to be. And he really was. He wasn't.
If you want information, you can look up the whole Riot Lyte saga. His former fiance came out with a bunch of information back in the day. You can look up articles. It's right there. But anyway, it's just so funny to see this guy like talking about toxicity when he was just a manipulative piece of shit in his real life.
It just looked that dissimilar, to be fair. He's actually aged pretty well.
Yeah.
Carlos is very, how do you call it?
That's my old boss.
So Alex Mueller is the founder of SK Gaming.
Still the boss of SK now.
Yeah, and so he's like a very OG person within the esports scene.
And therefore he's recognized.
You won't believe this, Monty.
Due to
I actually didn't get along very well with someone who's a very sort of boring financial background German. Can you believe that was almost like it's almost like we couldn't see eye to eye, Monty. You know what I mean?
How he expresses
sort of coming from different perspectives. I was actually my boss for like 3 years as well.
At the beginning, I recognized that.
I just love this epic music.
I was.
By the way, shall I tell you something interesting people might not know? Because like, obviously everyone won't see my interview with him. There's a point that Carlos made only after he retired, and so I actually reference it in my interview with him, which is, he was actually mega smart with that thing with the scarves, because that was like his gimmick at the time. Supposedly, he actually consciously even understood this though, bro. Like he said that he would have teammates at certain lands they would go to that would be like, mate, like the heating in here is mad. Like just take the scarf off, and he would always tell them like, no, because that's actually part of my job. Like that literally is how I'm gonna like separate myself. And by the way, he was right. He did like parlay that into all the fucking business stuff.
Absolutely,
like, that's actually super like prescient in a way. If you think about when this is, it's like 2012 or something. Isn't it? Like that's pretty legit, actually. Yeah, fair play.
I will be honest.
Patience is the one thing that Carlos, as a Spanish guy, doesn't have.
I got banned 2 times by Tribunal, by constant flaming in the past. So I mean,
I actually forgot Tribunal even existed.
I will tell you the truth. Sometimes I rage.
Carlos wants to be better as a player, and he.
If people don't know as well, the tribunal was
a...
one of the stupidest concepts ever. Where no joke,
it was amazing.
It would just take what you wrote in the game with no context. There wasn't like a game clip associated. There was no like chance to like write what you did or like an opinion. They would just take your text with zero context and then just decide, is that toxic? Like some hot or not shit, and then vote, and then you would just be banned if like enough people voted like jury style, right?
Yeah. It was basically crowdsourcing policing of the ladder.
What a mental concept.
What happened is that you could log into this website with your League of Legends account and review cases and then vote on whether this person should be punished or not. With no context.
If you remember,
and they would reward you with like in-game currency from doing it.
The worst part about it was that it was mega corrupt. So like, you know this, like famously there would be random times where, because you're just taking like a jury of idiots who have no consequence for banning you, you would get people actually banned for real for just typing like, you know, GG easy at the end of a game. Like, and so that's just someone where, because they've had that happen to them and it triggered them, they would just be like, yeah, it's toxic. And people would get like banned for shit like that, which is like, listen, I don't think I'm being too like fucking like too edgy by saying we should be able to say GG easy in the fucking world. Say that's not really, it's not really like hate speech, is it? Come on, man. Like there was some mad ones back in the day. There was some mad ones, mate.
Player, if he's calm inside, if he focuses on his game alone.
I like the troubled youth music in the background.
So we first heard about
Carlos, here he is.
July of 2011,
there's Riot Lyte.
And he was flagged by our tribunals.
I also love that he has the hair of one of those StarCraft pros from 2008.
System.
Oh, mate, he looks like the douchebag party scene guy where his dad just has loads of money from the tech sector or something, you know, and he's got the best cocaine easily at the party. You can just tell this guy.
Warning, but what we saw was in the months following, he got case after case in the tribunal, and he was quickly on his way to a permaban.
The beginning,
Riot Lyte's gonna permaban him.
They almost permaban Carl. I will say, Monty, again, just in hindsight, in many ways, they didn't dodge a bullet on that one, did they? They actually allowed the bullet to get through in some ways. If they had actually unfairly, it would have been totally fucked up. If they had have banned Carlos in 2012 or whatever, none of this would have happened. That's all I'm saying. Essentially, that is the Terminator 2 moment that you go back to that like company where that guy was making the chip in it. Like, this is the moment right here. We could have fixed the whole thing.
I just love how Machinima like just presents this as the troubled youth in prison. It's like, if you just replace the words with, and then, you know, if he had kept selling drugs, then he would have gone to prison. They make it sound so fucking serious with this music and this production. It's like, dude, he insulted somebody in an online video game.
Bearing in mind, we're only a third through the timeline. There's going to be a moment, like you're saying, where it switches up to like, you know, the Peter Gabriel, like, on Salisbury Hill. Where it's
and then he went to rehab.
Exactly. Like, then that's when he's like found his new lease on life and he's found his vivaciousness again.
Pretty bad. The bad games I had to the bad words people gave.
We're talking about just playing a bad solo queue game and going, fuck you, get cancer. And they're treating it like he actually like beating his wife or something mad. Like,
exactly.
He's going around, no, you know, whatever the stance he uses, he doesn't give a...
I was just...
Mate, all he was saying was he doesn't give a fuck on his stream, and then he's going lol, and then that's when I knew I'd hit rock bottom, Monty. I was flaming people. You know?
I don't care.
It's so
was
stupid,
extremely critical on his teammates. In fact, some of the things he said were the worst we've ever seen in tribunal.
Yeah, you just showed a clip where he's going, I don't even know what the fuck he's doing. And then he goes, some of the things he said were some of the worst things anyone's ever said. Any human.
In tribunal cases.
He's just some of the worst sounds a human being's ever made.
Meanwhile, you have to remember, this same guy was fucking other women in the bed that he shared with his fiance and writing text messages saying that that was a kink that turned him on. This same guy.
He was well known in the community for wishing cancer on his own teammates.
Oh, wishing cancer. Look at this. Oh, man, I can't lie, though. The way he's done that is mad. It's hasn't even just done it once. He just put cancer.
I just love the slow zoom in.
It is. I also just love, let's be real.
When I got an email.
What is wrong with the world, by the way, where all of us, let's just have an amnesty, guys. We've all typed mental shit in League of Legends over the years, especially back in the day, because it just induces so much rage, doesn't it? Like I won't claim I've done that, spoiler, I have done that. But like that's like not even that crazy a thing to say, especially, by the way, here's the other thing. We can't know what they were saying there, Monty. Like, that could be some mad spicy back and forth. Maybe like the jungler was saying some shit to him, like, oh, or so like you garbage it properly, you know, like, and then it just gets ramped up, doesn't it? But then you just show him like cancer. Like,
Also, since when did telling someone to get cancer become such a horrible insult?
It's not like, yeah, by the way, it's not like we're on like The Secret and it actually manifests and becomes reality because you said it. Like, it's just this insult in it. Like, yeah, it's rude, obviously. Yeah.
It's very rude.
You know, it's the same thing though, Monty, with like saying to someone like kill themselves. Like, if we're being honest, like there's got to be like an incredibly infinitesimally small amount of people would then act on that and take it and go, wait a minute, kill myself. And then they actually kill themselves. Like, obviously we have sympathy for that, but it's such an implausible scenario, isn't it? Like, everyone's just gone too mad on that one. We all know it's rude. I know it is a horrible thing to say, of course. Shouldn't ban you from the whole game forever, though, sure.
For flaming. I was actually surprised, you know. I thought my behavior was like everybody's else behavior.
It was.
Oh, this guy.
It was.
This guy's a douchebag, man.
It was the repeat.
Mate, they just showed a clip of him call someone a douchebag, and again, like that's like, well, there's the evidence, case closed. You know, what do you want? Like, now just saying douchebag. You know, kind of ways, guys, douchebag's an actual real thing. It's like a thing you take in the shower. Like, it's not like it's actually a noun. Like, what we doing here is mental.
The severity of his actions.
The severity
of his actions. Consequences for these actions.
It's not a perfect situation. If once you get stamped like that, the community will always look at you.
Well, it's funny. I remember one time I was in a game and I was constantly bashing one guy, my jungler. Yeah. Constantly.
Youngler. Is younger.
I was telling him he was doing wrong. He was doing very bad. And
it sounds cool.
Honestly, he didn't say a single word. A single word the whole game. Yeah. And at the end of the game, he didn't tell me I'm gonna report you. He just told me, dude, you actually made me feel so bad that game.
Here's what's weird about that, right? I've got to say this right now, Monty. This is one area where I don't believe the narrative of the video now, because all I'll tell you is this. When you're in the moment, in the heat of battle, and you're talking shit to someone, and you're flaming them, if they type to you like, you made me feel bad, you wouldn't just go, oh shit, I better reflect on what... You'd be like, good, fuck you, I just told you to kill yourself. You know what I mean? Like
that was the intention behind my action.
You'd be right in the moment. You wouldn't be like, oh, fuck, I didn't realize there was a human behind the screen, and now I've hurt his feet. Like, there's no way they've just retconned that completely.
When he's having trouble in his personal life, something is bothering him, and then I can see it when he's playing as well.
You know, it's something really sad that something like this has to happen for me to realize.
He hasn't killed anyone. I'm like, I don't know.
I just love the guitar.
It's just very tragic that sometimes it's had to happen.
Literally.
You know?
And since that moment, and the moment I went to Gamescom in 2011, and I found a guy in a wheelchair that came from Paris, actually, only to see me.
Come on.
And he saw me, I was a role model for him, and I was his idol. I realized that if I want to be a role model, and
just because of how fucked up I am, my first thought was, why would your role model, like, you know, you can't actually walk again. Like, you're in a wheelchair, that's over. Like, there's no point picking Oslo. But that's the mad one there. Like, that's so tenuous a link, Monty. So because he had a fan in a wheelchair from France that came to Germany to Gamescom, that made him realize that maybe I shouldn't be toxic in solo queue.
Maybe I shouldn't say cancer.
I don't know what fucking connection does that have. Like, there's no connection at all. I thought he was going to actually say something for real. Like, you know, that the guy told me, you know, when I saw you say that thing about the wheelchair, it made me, you know, hurt my feelings. Like, that would at least have a connection, wouldn't it? Like, this is so tenuous. Like, by the way, what does cancer have to do with this guy being in a wheelchair? Like, it's just not even, it's a non sequitur, isn't it? It's nothing.
Right.
They're gonna act like that too. I decided to change myself, literally.
There's some OG players in this though.
Carlos was one of the pro players that...
Oh, there's the music change. We got it.
He came to us and said, I'm a pro player and there's responsibility with that.
Yes, listen, this is his learned lessons. You know, he's had hard experiences, but he's bonded and he's learned lessons.
And talked to him while I was watching the stream. So when he was...
Lol, he just typed, no joke, Monty, man, I wish you a happy life. He went from telling people, get cancer, to actually now he's like doing good in the community. Now he's become like a hero. Now he's actually telling people, don't die, live a fruitful life, and I hope you have a good one. Like, that's that's such a fucking stupid ending, though. Just don't be toxic. That's all you have to do. You have to encourage people.
Why do we need a 5-minute video about this? This is so dumb.
So nonsense, isn't it?
Something that was in the direction of being toxic. It's like, hey, no.
Thorin, if you told me that this was a mockumentary, I would actually believe you.
It's a joke. If you just changed it to G2 material, this would be what G2's social media channel would do, isn't
like
it?
Satire,
this would be a banger skit, you know, and you'd even make fun of it like that. But now, of course, I tell people to have a good life in the game. Like, well, cheerio, enjoy your day. Like, that's so ridiculous.
And then everybody stood up and clapped, and we all joined hands and sang "Kumbaya," and there was world peace.
It's not the direction I want to take this.
Now I decided to filter what I read and only read the good stuff. If I start reading Ocelot, you are so okay, I stopped.
So Carlos isn't perfect.
Blatant lie,
in
by
the
the
middle
way.
of games,
Blatant
he's still
lie.
gonna rage. He's still gonna feel frustrated. But instead of taking his own team down, he's now the guy that keeps his team together.
This, by the way, that's the other thing. They just beg his belief. He goes, it's before he was the guy who'd bring his team down. Now he's the guy who keeps his team together. Why do you have to over-egg the pudding? Why don't not be not toxic? Like you're saying, he actually really does. Like he's on some transhumanist shit. He's trying to like evolve humans to a new form. Like this is Homo non-toxicus. Like, and then he goes like the new man or something. This is fucking mental. This guy is on some like video drum shit. The new flesh, the Riot Lyte flesh.
I don't know what was going on with Jeffrey Lynn. What a deeply strange and messed up human being.
Side of me,
I almost forgot he existed though. That's how long ago that shit was,
people
mate. That was years ago now.
When you don't say anything or the only thing you say is good job or well done, and you read all the stuff they write, or when they're raging or whatever, then you're like, I was like this, I'm ashamed.
He found his path in gaming, and he's marching on this path. There's almost nothing that can stop him.
You need to focus on every day being a better person. You don't need to just change from
how long is this
a diva
fucking
to an angel to from one day to another.
This is bollocks.
Both
It is
things
circling
don't
the drain
exist,
now. Come on, man.
we are always in the middle.
Why do we have to make this about living a better life when it's just I just want to watch Ocelot play professional video games. I don't care.
Like literally, you could summarize it in 5 seconds. Don't type "get cancer." That's it. That's the whole video. Problem solved. Do you type it anymore? No. Well done. See you next week. Instead, like you say, it's all like before. That's the thing about it. They exaggerate it, so it's like before I would be sat there raging and I was not thinking, and it's like, but then now I am a good guy who was helping my team and I bring positivity. And when I see someone is acting, it's like a little, you know, when little kids get told, like, and what will you do? It's like, well, I won't do it again, and I'll listen to what you say, and I'll be good. And you just bollocks. You just say because you know you have to. Don't you? Like you don't really mean it. You just learn at that age. Like, what do I have to say to get out of this? That's all he's doing now. Like the joke is, mate, this is made in like 2012 or something. Like you just know he was like toxic. Like the game he played after this, you know what I mean? Like when they left the office, he was eating fucking Russian bastard. Like you just know he was.
And then he went on his alt account and said exactly all the same shit.
Of course.
All right, we've got a StarCraft classic one. We'll go do some classic, which is Wolf Loves Hair. So this one was
okay.
This one is I will say for the GSL, the fans back in the day did a really good job of creating compilations of really funny shit.
Is this actually about like Wolf as an our Wolf?
Yes, yeah, Elephant Wolf.
People don't know he had some hilarious haircuts back in the day, so this would be
I got my hair. I got a haircut. His hairstyle really grabs onto his face. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It grabs on his face. Yeah, I know.
Wolf, I don't know what that means.
Really
it grabs
well.
onto his
He looks
face.
so good. No, you can actually have
sort of like a Lego man.
in
The head just like.
Would he prefer me with my old hair, or would he prefer a hairstyle more like this one?
Look at these guys. Look at them, man. Lucero always has this slight upper stash. So look at his new hairstyle. You guys will see it later.
Oh, Nanawa.
He has like kind of the side of it cut. It's really good.
How long does it take your hair to grow back, for example? Like, how long is this going to last for you?
What a mad question. How long does it take your hair to grow? What?
There's like parting your hair.
Man, can you even imagine the translator trying to explain that to him as well?
He'll be my girlfriend, but
he changed his hair back to looking like a normal person. Got the longer hair going. He's got the older style. Korean pro gamer
Oh,
look
by the way,
going
pause it a
for him.
sec.
We're gonna
That
go
guy who
ahead
you just
and
saw on screen,
get
who was
talk-
next to Wolf, that guy, bald guy, was a guy called
Kaldor,
who was a German commentator, and he was the most stereotypically German person I've ever met, Monty. As in, here's all you need to know, right? When I was in Korea, I've often told people, like, I experienced, like subtle xenophobia, but here's the problem, Monty. It didn't matter. Like, I didn't give a flying fuck. Like, I've told that story before, that like if you actually go out and you have like say you look like you're a bachelor like me at the time, and you're with like a obviously an unattached Korean woman of dating age, they know the score. They obviously know you're obviously like trying to raise with the girl or get with her, or she's your girlfriend, right? People sometimes will, like, in a subtle way, do stuff like sort of like, give you a dirty look if they're like a 50-year-old woman or like the Anjuma or whatever, or they'll just sometimes an old guy might say something in Korean, but you wonder what they said. Like, they'll just grumble it, like, like, and obviously you can tell from the vibe he's saying something like, bloody foreigner with the Korean, or he's saying something to her like, like, hey, what are you doing, like disgracing your people or something mad, right? The difference is when they would say that to me, I would either just think like, who gives a shit? It's just some old guy in it, like, or I would even just like, I was an arsehole, like I said, I would just sort of be like loving, like I was doing my troll personality, wasn't I? Was like, yeah, I'm with them all, mate. Yeah, I was doing that, so I was getting off on it way. Kaldor, right? When this happened to him, I remember he did like a vlog on it. He's such like a fucking ridiculously stereotypical German. He was like stopping people like that, Monty, and going like, hey, what are you saying to me? This is not right. Like, I am coming here to your country. I am just foreigner. I have not done anything to you. You judge me. You look at me when I am just on a public and I'm like, you just want to be like, bro, it doesn't matter. Like,
walk away.
I know, just who gives a shit? It's just a guy saying some shit. And like I said, we don't even know what they've said. Like, obviously we can guess the vibe. We know they're sort of saying fuck off. But like, the joke there is, I've always said that. I even had a great interview I once did with the Russian media, Monty, when they said, what do you think of Russian fans? And I said, they're my favorite in esports. And he was like, what? Because they knew that like they flamed me, right? And I said, that's the best thing. They all flame me in their language. So I just don't press that translate button, and then I'm having a great relationship. I'm sure they're saying horrible things, but I said it's way better, believe it or not, to not understand what the person's saying and not translate it than if that's in English, that'll hurt my feelings. Anyway, let's watch the rest. Go on.
He's got the longer hair going. He's got the older style Korean pro gamer look going for him. We're gonna go ahead and get to talk about what I wanted to talk about earlier, but couldn't because he wasn't on camera. In just moments, you'll see that Alive has changed his hair back to black.
Okay, now he does talk about this
in
like
this
incessantly,
chair,
doesn't
watching
he?
Legend pull hair out of his head.
By the way, look how bad this setup looks. That desk setup at the end of that laptop.
Doesn't
I
do
love the old
justice what has
gold
been done
studio,
to my hair,
it's
but
brings
he
back
is
so
looking
many memories.
fancier every
Looks
time
so
I see him.
dated though. Like that looked like it could be on like fucking the old G4 or something. You know what I mean?
I know, that's what's so great about it.
It
That was
didn't
the
work out
charm.
like he planned. It was definitely not
This looks so
ideal.
hawky as well.
But now he looks
because you know
good.
the mistake they made in the 2000s. Because StarCraft was the game. They tried to make it look too sci-fi.
Like it was
exactly.
Marine King is thing, the king
That'd be
to his
unfortunately.
Marine Prince right there. Just taming his hair a little bit.
I think that Kaldor definitely looks the best with the afro by
the
far.
way, you're not from
pretty
Korea.
suave.
That is
That
one thing that will
new
really
old
freak you
haircut
out if
that
you
he
go
has
there.
that's not
is they have different
ridiculously
rules for,
crazy
like,
and frizzy and all over the place.
what you can
He
do
looks
with,
good, man.
your male
Tails
friends,
can
and they
laugh at me
really
all he
will. Like,
wants if he has
two
that
guys who are not
hairstyle.
gay
I
will
was
just
a little
hold hands
disappointed
walking
when
on
he
the
changed
street.
his hair back to
Really,
normal
it'll
after
be like
that crazy
a double
hairstyle
take.
last
It'll be strange.
season of Team
So like
League.
that thing there where they're
And I
like
guess
grooming
after
each
his
other.
team
That
failed
almost
to
is a
make it to
thing
the
where you just like
finals,
play with
he didn't
someone's
change it back. I was really disappointed, but Tails has redeemed himself with me today.
Yeah.
It's
You
no
also
longer
forget
kind of
how
like a
long bloody
malformed
Wolf's been on
afro
this
or
shit.
something.
It's been like 10 years
It looks
plus
good.
I like your hair
Oh,
right
yeah.
now.
Bright colored hair.
He was
He's got a new
in Korea
haircut
before I
and
got
I like it a lot
there.
better. It
I
looks
think
like
he was
cleaner.
started
Yeah, I
in
think he looks so
2010
good.
or 2011.
And his fanatic colored hair.
So he's been in Korea
Honestly,
for 12, 13 years.
I remember
I
he
think
was
it
doing like the
so good on him.
stuff
Yeah,
on
he
it
still
first,
looks good with his dark hair, but I really think the light color was so
And
good
he
for him,
was
especially
doing
with the way
like
it brings out
Code
his
A,
uniform and
which
his
is
glasses.
the underleague
He
to
loves
Code S
changing
with
his hairstyle.
Doa. For a
I
long
know your
time.
hair. It looks amazing. It's so difficult for you to have to wear a hair that's
Just keep bringing
not
wigs.
yours. And give me the afro.
Certain hairstyles, for example, go well with it.
I love that somebody just put the time in to like find all the hair clips.
He changed his hairstyle like crazy. When he lost in the round of 4 last season for GSTL, the match was actually
MVP
played at an
team
exhibition center. And I remember seeing his hair, and I was like, oh my god, is
That was the team
Tails?
that
But
ended
it
up
is,
becoming
and then
Samsung.
again, he just loves to change up his hairstyle.
Yeah.
But Dongrigu, he doesn't. That's actually you having some hair fashion sense, Kaldor. I'm really proud of you.
I don't know. Like the more I look at you with that wig on, the more I'm attracted to you.
Naniwa needs a recommendation, by the way. He talked to me earlier and he asked me when exactly the hairdressers in Korea are.
I know some good places.
Yeah, you should definitely recommend something.
I can definitely
Apparently
help him
he's
out with
not happy with his hairstyle right now.
I think he looks good though. I don't know why
He told me it's too long.
Oh, okay. Well,
I told him that I have no clue, but that you are definitely the expert on it.
I can definitely help him out with that. It would be quite simple. Quite simple.
It's actually a great bad calculation. Oh, too good. Too good. All right. I want to do a CS:GO one now. That you will definitely be familiar with. It's actually a clip that has spawned a bunch of GIFs and memes, which is the We Are Fnatic CS:GO video.
Oh, right. This actually got an interesting backstory to it. Because basically,
you want to tell it before we do it?
When they made this video, this was in the era when Fnatic were like the villains, because obviously people thought Flusher cheated, and then they did the Olafmeister boost, and essentially the vibe just became that they became, and also, even though now they all deny it and pretend it didn't happen, there were even other top teams like NiP, Cloud9, Hellriz. There was a bunch of top teams that actually genuinely thought maybe they had cheated or done something beyond the rules. So even they were sort of giving them like fuck off energy, basically. And so at the time, the cool thing about Fnatic is actually quite a cool side angle is some of them thought of actually retiring, right? Because they were like, fuck, there's all this like hate and fan pressure. And instead, they decided to stay together, and they actually, like WWE style, embraced being the villains. And famously, when they would go to LANs, sometimes like the home crowd, even Sweden, would like boo them because they would support like NiP instead. And they would win the tournament anyway. They were like totally swagged out and just sort of be like, who gives a fuck? And people like JW and Flusher would just sort of like laughing it off, like, who gives a shit? And people even know Flusher's such a troll. When he won all the majors, his warm-up, he wouldn't warm up. Like, you know, when you can see behind, they're playing like aimbots or whatever, he would just go into that thing in the game where you get the virtual trophy and just observe the trophy spinning around, so that when they would look behind him, it was just him looking at like the like 3 majors he'd won, which by the way is some god tier trolling.
That's
like,
so funny.
that is top draw. So anyway, as part of this, Fnatic made this video to sort of, if you watch it, it's trying to have like sort of an edgy tone of sort of like, you know, when like an athlete is like someone who's criticizing Allen Iverson or Kobe back in the day or whatever, what you do is you make a commercial where it's sort of like, you know, hey, I ain't what you guys think I'm supposed to be, you know, like I'm my own man. They're trying to do that. And even though I actually personally, because I like stuff that's a bit cringe, Monty, I think it's sick. I think it's got its own charm. But everyone in CS on Reddit claims this video is shit. They think it's mega cringe. But I actually, it has, by the way, yeah, you're right. It's got loads of gifs like the Flusher no one.
The Flusher no one is very famous. Like reaction.
I'm saying this, guys. I'm willing to be wrong on this, but I think it's fire personally. But everyone else thinks it's bad. It's bad. It is funny. I'll say that. So let's watch it. It's not a long clip either. See, it has a different theme, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I like this shot. Okay, that's weird.
Great song. Because to me, this is just like a standard media student project, you know. It just looks all right.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong.
The setup is okay. It's just awkward. It's just very awkward. And it's too long. And that's just such an awkward transition.
I love it. I love this shit. Yes. Flusher, yes. Yes. Let go, cracking the old neck. There you go. That's the iconic gift. That is the iconic gift, yeah. It's a little bit cringe, a little bit. Just a little bit. This is cool. I think that's quite cool.
Wait a second.
I love it. I love
he looks confused by Chris.
I love it. We already saw that.
I know. I'm pulling it back. I just love.
Oh, right, you put it back.
I love where he's just confused by Chris. Like, what?
And by the way, here's the saddest part of all, Monty. Because everyone flamed the fuck out of them, Fnatic themselves deleted this off the internet, and this is like a re-upload or something.
Yeah, this is a re-upload.
That's so sad. It's deleted completely.
Just gotta own it. It is terrible, but you just gotta own it.
I think it's a guilty pleasure, mate. I sort of vibe with it. Because that's not somebody did Flashpoint. I actually think that sort of content's cool, where you're sort of trying to be like swagged out or whatever. True, it's hard to like nail the tone, but you could have done this and made it cool, mate. You could have. Like I said, the song was cool. Like it was like a nice idea.
Yeah.
They just didn't pull it all off.
The idea and the setup was good. It was just the shots were really badly done. I think that's the issue. Is it just ended up being cringe because of the editing, not because of the staging. I figured we probably should do the Moscow 5 apology video.
Should I tell everyone what the concept is for this?
All right. You lead into it.
As far as I know, this is where they'd played against like someone like TSM or someone famous, and they just like flamed them in the game or something like that. And so they had to come out and do this apology, but it's one of the classic ones. It's up there with the LST1 apology, where essentially the joke is it looks like someone off camera has an AK and he's just like,
yes,
you die if you don't read this like terrorist message out. And so they just seem so insincere when they do it, right? They're just sort of like, again, like it's like I said about being the little kid, like, yeah, we're very sorry for what we've done and we won't do
exactly.
it. Those ones,
it's
get
really
ready,
funny.
On.
What few words about the situation that you did in game?
I love the Russian flag in the background.
And that's like the traditional one, not like the
right.
Like as like the
it's
actual
the one with
like
the two-headed eagle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Also, even look at, by the way, the body language of Edward, because remember, when you cross your arms like that, you're being sort of like, you know, like you sort of standoffish. If you people don't know, Edward's famously mega toxic. Of course he is. Like, there's no way they believe this shit. They don't give a fuck.
I just love the Russian flag and the stark lighting that casts these insane shadows behind them. It just looks so sinister. That's why it looks like a terrorist hostage video.
The lighting's so bad.
We just want to apologize for our behavior. We want to apologize to the team Monosports, to the English community, to the Russian community. Our behavior was really awful. I mean, this is a question about the sportsmanship. You should show, even if you're not in mood, even if you're nervous, even if you're like, don't.
Edward giving zero fucks.
You can't even get calm. You shouldn't.
Look at Diamond Prox just looking at the sky.
You should
and Gary
show
wasn't
the
going to
best
fly fuck about
performance,
anything,
the best
guys. He never
sportsmanship,
did.
no matter of the situation.
Darian looks like fucking Dennis from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
On this situation.
He actually does. I just realised now. It's actually outrageous, isn't it?
I think that we won't repeat this situation.
It will never happen again.
Yeah, it will never happen again.
Thank you. Diamond, please, few words.
Are you kidding me? My English is awful.
No, you showed your good English. Your slang English is very good.
He didn't have very good English at this time, I can say.
Okay, guys. I'm the leader, Moscow 5.
This is the guy who went to prison, by the way.
This will never happen again.
This guy top credit now is the guy who went for all the credit card fraud, I believe, Monty, to like America for prison forever. Yeah. Just remember, that was when they all got to shut down, they became Gambit.
So I just love how they made Alex Itch do that, because he was the one who spoke the best English at that point in time.
And he was just the most mature of them all, etc. You know, like he was obviously the one who always talked at the events.
It's just so hilarious that happened. Let's see here. What else do we have? You have any requests?
Yeah. Since we already did the one where it was the interview, I want to see that Evil Geniuses Worlds video where it's like worlds. I want to see that one. I want to see, because I feel like that's going to be, it's going to hit the spot in light of what's happened recently, Monty. So I'm going to hit watching.
I got it.
Featuring, of course, Ovilee and Captain Flowers. Don't forget them. They're in it too, Monty. By the way, I will say, bearing in mind at the time we didn't know anything happened. Like Ovilee's actually straight fired in this video. She does a great job. She's actually she's probably the best part of the video, probably. Captain Flowers is all right.
This was 11 months ago.
This is when they neither qualify for Worlds.
Imagine spending $7 million on a roster and not making Worlds.
Yeah, imagine all sorts of things, Nicole. Imagine not making it to Worlds the next year. 1 year later, having to step down. Couldn't be me.
I also love how she in her departing statement said that there was or in the interview said that there was an expectation for CEOs to be in social media or like in the public eye, and then she goes and she pays Ovilee a fuck ton of money. Like, this is an expensive production. You had to rent a space. Ovilee had to do write this, and then they had to get the music together and everything like that. I mean, they had to do an entire professional shoot around this. This video probably cost, I don't know, $50,000 at least to make. Really expensive. And so she was the one who had to put herself, of course, into the position of criticizing and being that edgy, evil genius, because that was her ego.
But then later you have to be like, and then of course she became an unlikely lightning rod for scrutiny in the organization. Like, Like you're saying, like, you've gone out of your way to make yourself the face of the brand. Like, remember, by the way, Monty, do you know what the obvious appropriate person to be in this video would be? I don't know, fucking Jojo Pion or something, like an actual player, someone who's playing in the game.
Course.
It's about Worlds and League of Legends.
Yep.
Shit, what could you say?
Squad this capable with impact, leaving on wildcard teams be asking.
By the way, Impact fired months after this and replaced with somebody immediately after this video, almost like, okay, keep going.
Start passing. Send your asses home. This our turf. You trespassing.
All your regions know that it's time to go, or you're about to get hit with the ratio. To all them salty ass fans in the crowd.
Always great in this.
Just wait.
She does a good job. She actually pulls it off. She's in delivery is very good. She's got good on camera presence. This is just weird. It's like some David Lynch shit or something.
I like this. I think it's from the original music video.
All right.
Yeah, we got this worlds.
Because this is a parody of a song.
Dubs get dubs. Just watch K-Ori come and kill it. GG fans checking out. EG gonna feel inspired.
Like her rapping's even actually pretty good. She's doing a good job.
Welcome posting a new tweet. What's it saying?
Easy, waving bye-bye to the LPL.
I mean, Nicole LaPointe Jameson is good as this too.
Beating G2, Utah on site would have won in Val 2 if you got the invite.
Is this what the LCS spends their time doing?
This is at least funny. Fair play to this part.
And Ovilee, you're never gonna get an ass like Megadeth.
All this hype got me ready for the games. Feel that hype, man, I feel it in my veins. Ain't slowing down, ain't gonna be contained. Yeah, we gonna show you now.
Flowers
We
does a
gonna
good job
make a
too.
name. Cause we be so malevolent, the rest of y'all irrelevant. The game is like a room and now we proud to be the elephant. We gonna run the table.
Oh, really, Captain? There's an elephant in the room, you say, mate. Oh, bloody hell. How did that age? Is it called Daddy? Oh, sorry, Kyle Samaki or whatever.
Get on your knees. Yeah, we got this worlds.
They had to hire all these dancers too, which is pretty
To be
cool.
fair, Danny did get on his knees and beg not to play. So that did work in the end. They were right. That's how it played out. And also, even though no one gives him credit for it, I think the way I used this video against Captain Flowers was straight fire, where when he replied in that shitty way where he wouldn't acknowledge that like he was a part of this, I just took that screen where it said Worlds featuring Ovilee and thing, and I just took out the L from Worlds to make it Words, and then I just wrote Insincere next to it. Just put Insincere Words featuring Ovilee, Nicole LaPointe, NLJ, and Captain Flowers. I thought it was a banger. Just tweeted that at him on Twitter. Fuck him. Only for that thing. It's not even that big a deal, is it? It's whatever. I just thought it made him look bad, personally. What are we watching now?
Here is a Golden State Warriors introducing the Golden Guardians League of Legends team at the Chase Center, or maybe it was Oracle
like,
Arena.
Fucking arena. Holy shit. As though anyone's going to care about this.
Yep.
This is when Golden Guardians was shit as well.
And we'd like to introduce to you their North American League of Legends Championship.
This is so cringe.
Everybody in the arena just has no fucking clue what's going on.
With Harry, right? Okay, this is ages ago, mate. Holy shit, definitely. I forgot even existed, mate.
What about Matt?
No, but the sad thing is, people forget. Danny was the person who replaced Deftly. He was the one who was in EG before that, because everyone just gave him like a million chances, didn't they? Man, that is the one thing I feel bad for in LCS. They had a fucking generation of just ADCs that never made it, mate. Think about like Cody, Son, Tactical, fucking... The joke is actually the best of them was probably that Johnson guy. I don't know whatever happened to him. I don't know where the fuck he went. He was actually pretty decent at once. Lolo. No one even cares about Lolo and fucking LCS, mate. Also, how mad is it that Contracts is now he is the reigning champion?
He's a reigning LCS champion.
Even so, he's the reigning champion, Monty.
Imagine being in this arena and knowing nothing about esports and watching this and just seeing what all you see is jungler and then just like a monster next to him or whatever.
Two champions. It was like Nidalee and fucking Rek'Sai. Like, you know what the fuck that is, I know.
Exactly.
Also, but
just presented entirely without context.
It puts his name, but then it puts at Golden Guardians underneath. Hi.
He's so nice, we say his name twice.
All I'm going to say right now, by the way, is this is even noob, because look what they've done, Monty. They've put the two champions next to High. Like, this has to be like season 6 or something if it's Guardians, mate. They've got fucking Kha'Zix. Hasn't been Midlands since about season 2. What you fucking...
Was one of his signature champions.
Yeah, in like season 3 or something, mate. Like, there's no way he's playing that. Like, 2016 or something. It's like, give me a break. By the way, definitely fuck your career, mate, if Siver's one of your signature champions, mate. As an ADC.
I just like the no reaction from everybody in the background in the stadium. Who came up with this idea?
I know. Also, because there's no crowd, Mike, so it sounds like no one's cheering. Oh, Loco's there! Holy shit, look at Loco. They don't even have a jersey from anything. Oh, dude, he didn't even get his name put on. Everyone else didn't it say like their name as well, like one on Loco Doco. It just put Loco Doco. That's all they put as well. It's like his name.
It was the afterthought.
Holy shit, they don't even care about him. They've actually wrecked Loco. I also, by the way, low-key forgot Loco was ever involved with this all. Because wasn't this the one where he got scummed by Riot and fucking Travi gummed him on that shit? Which sadly, because he's Loco, now the fucking statute of limitations is completely gone on that NDA. But he's because you have to understand, guys, even though this will sound mad, if you think about the young Loco who was mad drama, now he's actually like conflict averse. So to him, like he wouldn't want to even tell us the story of what happened with that, sadly, even though he lied and said he would. Because everyone, I want that to be out there so people know what was done.
It would be nice if that came out publicly at one point in time. Yeah. All right, let's watch one more video for this one. You guys have done a great job submitting it. We will watch. This is actually a pretty. There have been some bangers, guys. We really appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. We actually have an old interview of TheOddOne with Pluto, who was an early interviewer, and so he's having drinks with him.
I think he has mega ginger hair.
This is Pluto? Here with
I don't know if we'll watch the whole thing. It's 15 minutes long, but we can at least start. This is at PAX 2012. I was actually at this event. So this was the North American finals, I believe, the regionals before Worlds.
How's your Long Island iced tea?
I can actually get this.
It's very strong. Actually.
Yeah, people don't know. Basically,
you're old enough to do this, right?
This is the guy that sort of Shox replaced. Like this was one of the main interviewer people in the scene at the time.
Yeah, and he worked for Curse at the time, and he ended up working with Twitch for a long time. Not
here with
TheOddOne,
and this is drinks with TheOddOne. Watch this.
He was pretty funny.
He was all right. Like put it this way, he was at least trying to have a personality compared to like a lot of the boring people back then.
How's your Long Island iced tea?
Strong.
It's very strong, actually. Ridiculously strong. You're old enough to do this, right?
Yeah.
How old are you?
Dude, the thing I'll never be able to get past with TheOddOne is just that story of him getting scurvy from eating those like meals. Like,
and that's just Canadian.
Because dude, if you just look at him, he looks like his body's had no nutrition ever. It's like ridiculous. Like,
Canada, half Scottish.
Come on, mate.
Half Scottish, half Chinese, and full jungler is where you are.
The obvious joke being that his problem, Monty, is that he played jungle.
Now,
if he'd have played top lane, he could have played
don't really need any introduction whatsoever. You're the
using the oranges.
You are the jungler.
There were so many jokes at the time.
What's it called?
What's it called? So many jokes about it. Sorry about that.
It's a bit of a reach, but whatever.
Top? Team solo top?
Number 1.
Team duo bot?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Well, TSM, Team Solo Mid, you guys took a decisive victory against Dignitas today on day 3 of the North American Regionals. How do I put it like lightly without offending anyone? You guys shit on them.
Yes.
Thoughts?
I miss when esports interviews were like this.
Shit on them, then they just took it. And it was over.
Put it this way, even though we didn't see it, I know another thing that Moscow 5 got in trouble for a bunch of times, Monty, is because that was the era when, especially if you're coming from Russia, they would just do interviews where they're like, yeah, we raped them, basically. And then people in the West would go, oh, and then they're not knowing what they've said wrong, so they're just like saying it again or whatever. Like, yeah, we just raped them. We are raping them, basically. Like,
it's just so interesting to go back and look at this. I mean, I wish interviews were like this right now.
It's because, like you say, it's just an
OddOne just said we shit on them and they just took it.
Put it this way, Monty. This is where you won't know this, but this is where you have to find people who quit at the right time. So I did an interview recently on my YouTube channel with a guy who used to be the Dignitas in-game leader in CSGO before Carrigan took over and they became Astralis, which was the guy called Fetish, right? And because he retired from active play around like 2015 or something, Monty, and he hasn't been on camera since then. Think about the age cutoff of what I'm saying there again. Like all the politics shit was like 2016 onwards, right? So because he stopped then, Monty, when we did this reflections now, he's like coming. It's like he's like California man. Like it's like he's just thawed out from being in like Jurassic age, and he's just a guy now from that age, and he doesn't know about all the political correct stuff in the meantime because he's a Danish guy as well. If you don't know, Danes are like way spicier than Swedes. They like have a quite dark humor and they're like lots of like naughty, dark, edgy humor, right? And so I did this interview, and not only does he also say something like we raped clipped them in practice or something. Later on, when I ask him about like, I think it's about, I ask him about like Dupree or something, he says that like, oh, I think Dupree at one point in time was having a problem with his girlfriend. And he references the fact that Device had that like Swedish influencer that he was dating that he had the problems with. And he goes, I think she was also Swedish. Bloody Swedish bitches. And it's like, what's mad is back then that wouldn't even raise an eyebrow. But when I'm doing it now, like, mate, I like barely keep it together on camera. Like my poker face has to be really good. Like, because I also don't want to seem like, you know, I'm like agreeing with it. It's like, that's actually banter, fucking hell. But like I say, it's like you just came out of a time capsule, mate. Like, bro, we're not doing that anymore, I'm afraid. Like, you know.
But I mean, the funny thing is, you know, Thorin, is that this is the kind of content that made people like the Odd One really popular. And this kind of content going away is actually one of the reasons, because the whole influencer culture, people, the XQC jokes and all the drama and like all the honesty and the bluntness is why people like a lot of those streamers today. And that's why the cultural shift has happened. And if you want to know why LCS isn't as popular, it's because we don't have drinks interviews with the Odd One where he just says we shit on them and they took it.
Oh, it was a way more raw scene back then. It was awesome. Like you said, the flavor of the scene was super strong.
Lost. I don't even understand.
Kind of stupid.
Yeah,
it's like they're into like that kind of stuff, you know, like they're into like poop stuff.
Yeah, they just took it. It was like, no, I love this shit.
This is already turning out to be the greatest interview I think we've ever done. You've been a prolific juggler for a long time. You've been a prolific streamer as well. You pulled numbers that are outrageous, like 20,000, 30,000. What's the most viewers you've ever gotten concurrently?
Actually, I think it was like 29 something.
Like guys, just bear in mind, he just said he had 29,000 viewers. LCS, the broadcast sometimes has 50K
for 12 hours and you fucked it up.
He had 29 just himself streaming fucking jungle and like 20 or whatever it is.
He was crazy popular back in the day, and 29,000 concurrents was huge.
Deal with that success, but how have you come to like
think what the CPMs were back then? You'd be making legit fucking money.
Everyone knows you and everyone watches your stream out there. Liquid,
sadly, this was just like a window that closed, though. There was an era back then when like everyone on TSM got all this insane viewership, and they all thought like they could just retire as pros and just do this forever. Like everyone actually believed that back then.
Cop, how's it feel to be fourth place?
Dude, look how young Steve Arnett looked there. Look.
Yeah, and he also Pluto was just saying like he was just saying that Steve was really drunk. He said Liquid is really drunk because
you just
so walked around the bottle.
Oh my god, we just got bombed by Liquid. Get Leaf. We'll edit that out. No, we won't.
Because obviously, if people don't know, back then there was no Team Liquid, it was Team Curse.
So that's 20 to 30,000 viewers on your stream.
That's like his boss,
How
basically.
Do you stay so entertaining?
I don't know. I'd say be yourself, but most people are boring. So
that's a pretty good joke.
Just gotta entertain it. Like if you were watching a stream, like what would you want to watch? Like unless I grow
probably boobies.
Yeah, unless I grow tits.
Also a great line, hilarious line. Can't say it now, but again, hilarious line.
You just won.
It's a good joke.
This interview is actually very funny.
50K viewers, it'd be pretty badass. But
imagine Odd One with tits. No.
No.
How big would you go?
Jesus.
I don't know if I'd go C or D.
You go D. You go big.
No one knows what those
bigger
letters mean. Let's not even pretend like we all do.
You heard it here first. Odd One's going to get breast implants that are C or D in size, and he's going to continue.
No one knows what that means. No one knows what the cup size means.
What a man!
Just make the number large.
As far as the games are concerned today, you played a mean Shyvana and a mean Skarner. Was there a reason you picked
Holy
that Skarner?
Shit! I just realised. Why did Shyvana just never ever come back into
played it really well?
That was an awesome show back in the day.
TD,
old champion design.
It was Polo back in the day, wasn't it?
Stealer. He's a
really
good
concept. The ultimate we go the back line.
Do you fear him whatsoever in the jungle, or do you?
But then just went away and never ever came back ever.
I mean, a lot of the mobility creep I think made her just kind of useless. She's been strong in solo queue recently.
That was definitely a fun champ to watch for sure. Jungle and top.
The first game it was just a matchup that anyone that goes red buff first against Skarner,
we don't need game stuff.
So Skarner was the perfect pick.
Now the only game you guys dropped.
I'm going to play Shyvana jungle after I finish watching this.
How did you guys actually drop that game?
For nostalgia, it's actually not bad.
We're pretty hyped up. You guys were like 2-0, 2-0, 2-0 the whole time. And you go 2-1 against Curse, who is just kind of a fourth seed scrub, right?
Good, no, Curse, so good.
Oh, you can play AP. Nice.
How did that go?
You can play AP. She does a huge
mini emotion. So I bet you just
won. Now into
Shyvana. Usually, yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah.
Show mini emotions.
I guess when I stream, but otherwise it's like,
the weird thing about the odd one always is he does that thing where like it's almost like his teeth are always together. Like
just talking like this, guys.
Now, at the World Championships, it's going to be in Los Angeles.
It's like he's actually a ventriloquist dummy. And Reginald's just behind.
I think I'm getting my dates right.
Well, no, the joke is he'd have to be the ventriloquist.
You guys are going to be matched up against the best teams in the world. You guys are going to be matched against CLG EU, Moscow 5, SK, and then all the Asian teams as well.
It's just fun to hear him talk about the best teams in the world.
Teams
what I love is because this guy's from America, guys, doing LCS. But it wasn't even LCS
style is still.
He didn't even reference any actual Asian team. He just said the best teams in the world, like SK Gaming, CLGU, and then he goes, and all those Asian teams.
He did say he said Azubu Blaze because they had played in New York.
He did say that one.
Arena. Yeah, he just asked about that one. But
he did just forget, Frost, World Elite, pretty good team, Taipei Assassins. He didn't forget all those squads.
But yeah, I don't know. The Russians are always scary. You never know what they do. Like they train years for this. I'm pretty sure Must 5's like in their hideout right now, training for this.
Are you guys gonna be like
that?
The
was
Rocky
obviously
Balboa
a famous
to
thing
their
that they were
Ivan
really good at boot camps. And people
yeah, they boot camp really hard for sure.
We got our ass. We're like Apollo at Kiev. We just got killed. It's pretty bad.
What a freaking mental analogy that is,
dude. No, nothing is better than Rocky references with the Odd One. This is Pluto and Odd One movie talk. Stick around.
I mean, all I'll say is this:
so
this guy
you
is
guys
better
to
than
take
Travis
down the trained.
It's got way better on camera
with your Rocky
presence,
Balboa
demeanor,
punching meat in a locker techniques.
It's a similar style of interviewing, to be fair.
Movie when we die at the end.
If Rocky died at the end, it would be the shittiest movie I've ever seen. You guys didn't pull out anything that was like super secret or incredible. You guys
also you have to remember,
you would like to maybe tell the
if you
entire
look,
world
technically the Odd One has drunk half a Long Island iced tea. Long Island iced teas are usually quite strong alcohol, and he probably does weigh 90 pounds. So if you just calculate blood alcohol like levels, he must be.
It's like 3 or 4 shots of alcohol and then like some lemonade and Coke.
Because if you remember famously, that's because it's called the Long Island iced tea. That's how you like troll people who've done about drinks. You just tell them like, oh, get one of these. It's got like tea in it or whatever. And the joke is actually tea in it. Like even the colour comes from like Coke or something. Like
it comes from lemonade and Coke with like.
You're welcome. We wanted to give you a handicap. We wanted to make it so that you guys take it. We don't want all the glory. Carry. A lot of people say, I don't.
He looks wasted right now, mate.
What's the point of that? So
he looks like he would be played by Steve Buscemi in a 90s independent movie.
Something that's Canadian.
Yeah, no problem. But yeah, like saving money on Shyvana, like comes in to stand in front and act as mid-shields because.
As if they're actually talking about the game now.
It's your favorite
movie. I know.
After all that, you just at the end talk about the actual game. Like, yeah, I was trying to like shield him with Shyvana. Like, what are you talking about?
Hold on, you gotta wait for the mic. Ready?
Here we go.
Oh! Do it! Oh, wait.
Okay. Yep. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
There it is, the John McClane Odd One. If you change your name at Worlds to the John McClane, I will just hug you. Will you do that for me?
The Die Hard reference.
What else do you want from me?
I don't know. Can I get your hair? I want to be
just like a lock of my hair. Do you want the whole? You want me to shave my head?
I want to be a ginger. That's pretty funny. Actually.
Yeah, I want to be a ginger too.
Okay, if your name is the John McClane at Worlds, I'll give you all of my hair. That's not binding. That's not binding. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. But that has been it with the Odd One. Drinks with the Odd One. Cheers to you. Cheers to your victory here. Thank you so much for the interview. And we'll see you next
this
time.
Is like 11 years old or something. It's pretty mad though, isn't it? That's pretty wild.
That's so funny. I don't know, man. This is it does make me pine for the old years of esports where you could have some of these just outrageous interviews, and nobody got mad.
No, of course not.
It's obviously super awkward and edgy, but it is what it is. And then Riot decided that we needed a professional circuit. So.
I mean, the other thing is, to be fair, back then as well, like most esports stuff never permeated beyond the esports like tiny little bubble. So whereas like now, because of like Twitch and live stream fails and all that crap, if you do anything now, it'll permeate to like general gaming culture, lifestyle thing. Maybe if you're unlucky, actual like real BBC or something like that. Like you also just wouldn't get in trouble with like sponsors in the same way back then. Like it wasn't like the end of the world. Whereas now, like obviously a tweet will just do you in completely, won't it? It'll be the end of the world. Like all that mad story recently where that guy like, did you see that one, Monty? I don't think we even talked about it on some of the insights. Who gave a fuck? You know that mad story where that player on like the Fnatic Academy team was like, "Oh, I'll just log into this other account and check out my Draven skin." Did you see this? And when he logged in, he's German, and the name of the account was like, no joke, like Hitler whatever and a bunch of numbers. It's like, and he claimed like, oh, it was just like a friend's account I logged into. It's like, bro. And he got fired immediately, like that day, like instantly, obviously.
I mean,
but,
how dumb can you be, though?
I know, but like when he logged in, even it's like, oh, bloody hell. Like,
of course, this
why
happened.
have you done that? I know exactly. Like, why have you done that on camera? Why? I know. It's all
stupid. Right. Well, thank you guys for all your submissions.
We'll do another one.
Yeah, all your submissions on Discord and Twitter. We will definitely do another one of these. And thank you, of course, to the Freeze Pipe. And this has been in celebration of their new Vape Pen, which it has been released as of September 13th. So you guys can enjoy this new product. Head on over, 10% off with the code LFN off of anything on their website, including the Vape Pen. We'll see you guys for another one of these in a few months.